4 goals was a big thrill for me, and I'll never forget.
It started early in period 3 as Gretzky began a relentless assault on Wales goaltender Pelle Lindbergh. With a little luck and a lot of craftsmanship, Gretzky poured it on. Even after he dribbled one under Lindbergh for a hat trick, there was more on the way. Finally, the blitzkrieg came to an end. For the Campbell Conference, a big 9-3 victory. For Wayne Gretzky, more space in the National Hockey League record book.
I watched the game and I watched Wayne score the 4 goals. He certainly turned a very complacent hockey game into something that was exciting and memorable for everyone who was there. And I feel that Wayne is the kind of guy that's capable of doing that again this year. I mean, you really never know what he's going to do. He could score 4 or 5, or he might score 1 or 2, but he's going to do something that's exciting. You can bet on that.
Tonight, the Campbell Conference All-Stars from the Smythe and Norris divisions will get a chance to make it 2 straight as they meet the Wales Conference All-Stars from the Patrick and Adams division once again. The site is just 6 miles west of New York City, a marshland in the community of East Rutherford, New Jersey, in an area called the Meadowlands. Just off the New Jersey Turnpike at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena, USA Sports presents exclusive coverage of the 36th NHL All-Star Game. Next. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is brought to you by Mobile Detergent Gasoline, power for your everyday driving needs. By Toyota's new cars and trucks for 1984. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. And by Levi's, jeans, cords, and shirts for quality and style you can count on. NHL All-Star Games have provided many of those special sports moments, those blinks of time from the past that became the cherished stories of the present. 1934 in Toronto, the All-Stars against the Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs. A benefit game for Ace Bailey. A fractured skull ended his career. The special moment there, Eddie Shore shook his hand at center ice before that game. It was Eddie Shore's check that ended his career. 1957, the great Red Wings line of Gordie Howe, Ted Lindsay, and Alex Delvecchio reunited. They were separated because of a trade. In 1959, all players autographed a stick for a church charity in Toronto. The winner of the charity, Pete Mahovlich. He would play 14 years in the National Hockey League. 1968, Brian Conacher became the first All-Star to wear a helmet after Bill Mesterton died from head injuries. In 1969, money, $500 to the winners, $250 to the losers. And that brings us to tonight, 1984. Let's meet the coaches for the Classic.
Coaching an All-Star team for me is certainly very exciting. You know, you get the chance to meet players from different teams and the great players all through the league and playing against the top players of the other conference. So I'm just certainly glad to be part of it.
I feel that this would probably be the only way that I'm ever going to get to an All-Star game, being an ex-player. I wasn't capable of playing to that degree, but being surrounded by this many superstars, and I think that all of the fellows that will be in the game will be superstars. I'm pretty excited about it.
It's certainly a night for nostalgia, and Dan Kelly, who will be calling his 11th NHL All-Star Game, knows all about it. He's upstairs with Gary Green. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Al Trudwig. It's always an honor to be associated with these great athletes in the All-Star Classic. Injuries have been a big topic of conversation for this All-Star Game. Trottier and Bossy out. Wayne Gretzky has a shoulder problem, and he's going to play, but for a while we weren't sure.
Well, it helped end his 51-game consecutive goal streak Saturday night, but he is going to play tonight. In watching tonight's hockey game, you can't expect to see any big body slams along the boards, no scuffles in the corners. There haven't been fighting majors in an all-star game since way back in 1953. But watch the game for its grace, its beauty, the skill of these players. They're the cream of the crop of the NHL.
And you don't get the tight checking that you do in a normal game, so you see the artistry of these players. Let's go back to Al Trudwick.
Over 19,000 here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That makes this the second largest all-style crowd in NHL history. Let's go outside and meet the players by joining the pregame ceremonies.
He was hit by the great Eddie Shore. And incidentally, I attended the first NHL All-Star game in Toronto in '48, and my best friend, my neighbor, who's in the Hall of Fame, and they said there's no hitting. Well, they got to be kidding. He broke his leg in the All-Star game. But he still did come back a few years later, and believe it or not, set a record in Madison Square Gardens, 3 goals in 21 seconds. That record may live forever.
Incredible. The lights are down low here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena. Just to my left, where I imagine the Campbell.
A few technical problems in the pregame introductions. As we might expect, let's go to Mike Emrick, who is coming out on the ice now. We believe we have things sorted out to meet the players, 40 of them for the 36 All-Star game.
Let's go down to the ice in the starting introductions tonight with Mike Emrick.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 36th Annual National Hockey League All-Star Game. My name is Mike Emrick. It's my pleasure to introduce to you now the Campbell Conference All-Stars. From the Calgary Flames, appearing in his 4th All-Star game, at forward, number 9, Lenny McDonald.
One of the more prolific goal scorers in the game. Everybody knows him, though, for that fantastic mustache, number 9 with the Calgary Flames, Lenny McDonald.
Making his 2nd All-Star appearance, in goal, number 30, Murray Vanderman. From the Chicago Blackhawks, in his 3rd All-Star game, at forward, number 18, Dennis Savard.
We're having some technical problems with the introduction of the players, so we'll pick it up from here. There you see Dennis Savard of the Chicago Blackhawks, a member of the Campbell Conference All-Stars. Another member of the Chicago Blackhawks and one of the great defensemen in this game today, Doug Wilson.
Red Wings.
Representing the Detroit Red Wings and playing for the Campbell Conference All-Stars, left winger John Ogrodnik. Another player from the Detroit Red Wings playing in his 1st All-Star game, and the youngest player to ever play in an All-Star game, 18-year-old Steve Yzerman. What a future that young man has, Gary.
Does he ever, Dan? And he's excited about tonight's hockey game.
From the Los Angeles Kings.
From the Los Angeles Kings.
NHL All-Star game. At forward.
A player playing in his 1st NHL All-Star game. And I think it'll be the first of many for Bernie Nichols. Marcel Dion, the great Los Angeles center, unable to play, and Nichols, having a good year, is in the lineup representing the Kings. Another Los Angeles King player, Charlie Simmer. He'll wear jersey number 10. He's from Los Angeles. Plays on that great Triple Crown line with Marcel Dion.
From the Minnesota North Stars.
Representing the Minnesota North Stars.
At forward, number 23.
Number 23, the youngest captain in the National Hockey League for the Minnesota North Stars, Brian Bellows.
From the Minnesota North
Another member of the Minnesota North Stars.
All-Star appearance.
His 1st All-Star appearance.
Number 6,
defenseman Brad Maxwell.
From the St. Louis Blues.
Representing the St. Louis Blues and elected to the Campbell Conference All-Star first team,
Rob Ramage.
defenseman Rob Ramage. He's had an outstanding year for St. Louis.
From the Toronto Maple Leafs.
From the Toronto Maple Leafs,
At forward, number 20.
one of the forwards for the Campbell Conference team, high-scoring winger Rick Vaive.
From the Vancouver Canucks.
From the Vancouver Canucks,
First All-Star
and
appearance.
playing in his first NHL All-Star game, one of the Campbell Conference forwards, Darcy Rhoda.
From the Winnipeg Jets.
Representing the Winnipeg Jets,
At defense, number
defenseman David Babbage.
Babbage.
One of two Babbage brothers playing in the NHL. His brother Wayne with the St. Louis Blues, David, a defenseman with the Winnipeg Jets.
NHL All-Star Game. At forward, number 8, Glenn Anderson.
From the Edmonton Oilers, and they have quite a contingent. You see Glenn Anderson,
From the Edmonton Oilers.
another of the Edmonton Oiler representative,
Number 7, Paul Coffey.
defenseman Paul Coffey. Well, if all defensemen could rush the puck like this guy, this would be something, wouldn't it?
Would it ever? 29 goals last year, 96 points.
All-Star Game. In goal, number 30.
Also from Edmonton, one of the Campbell Conference goaltenders, Grant Fuhr.
From the Edmonton Oilers in his first All-Star
Another member of the Oilers playing in his first All-Star game,
Kevin
defenseman Kevin Lowe. And here's a guy that I think is one of the most underrated players in the league.
That he is, a very fine defensive defenseman.
From the Edmonton Oilers in his third NHL All-Star.
Another Edmonton player in his third All-Star game,
Messier.
winger Mark Messier.
And from the Edmonton Oilers in his fifth All-Star.
And from Edmonton in his fifth All-Star game, number 99, Mr. Gretzky. He had some choice comments earlier this year about the New Jersey Devils, and he gets a reaction of cheers and boos. If I know Wayne Gretzky, they'll all be cheering by the time the night's over.
For the Campbell Conference All-Stars from the Minnesota North Stars.
The trainers for the Campbell Conference All-Stars,
Larry Ness.
Larry Ness from the Minnesota North Stars,
And from the Detroit Red Wings in his first All-Star game.
another trainer from the Detroit Red Wings, Jim Pengelly.
And the coach of the Campbell Conference All-Stars from the Edmonton
The
Oilers.
coach of the Campbell Conference, the general manager and coach of the Edmonton Oilers,
Sather.
Glenn Sather, his first All-Star game. And he slides over towards the Campbell bench.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Campbell Conference.
So there you see the Campbell Conference All-Stars. They have won only 2 of these 8 meetings against the Wales Conference, but they won big last year. And you saw it here on USA
Present the All-Stars
in the game where Gretzky dominated with a 4-goal third period.
to introduce Larry Hirsch.
They will now introduce the Wales Conference All-Stars.
It is my pleasure to welcome everybody to the Hockey Palace of the world and home of New Jersey Devils hockey.
The Wales Conference will be introduced here.
Presenting the 1984 Prince of Wales Conference All-Stars. From the Boston Bruins.
First players out will be from the Boston Bruins.
Number 7, Ray Bourque.
Defenseman Ray Bourque.
From the Boston Bruins.
Also from the Boston Bruins,
Forward number 16, Rick Middleton.
winger Rick Middleton.
From the Boston Bruins, first
Another
All-Star
member of the
game,
Boston Bruins.
Mike O'Connell.
His first All-Star game, another of the underrated players, I think, Mike O'Connell. Native of Chicago, used to play with the Blackhawks and now with Boston.
From the Boston Bruins, his second All-Star game.
Another Boston Bruin player.
Number 10, Barry Peterson.
Barry Peterson, center iceman.
From the Boston Bruins, playing his fourth All-Star game.
And still another
Goaltender,
member of the
number
Boston
1,
Bruins.
Pete
The goaltender, Pete Peters. So 5 Bruins
Buffalo Sabres.
make up the introduction for the Wales Conference. Now from the Buffalo Sabres, young defenseman Bill Housley from St. Paul, Minnesota. His first of, I think, many All-Star games, Gary Green.
Well, whether it's a defense or left wing or center, we get a treat with a talented young man like him.
Here's a guy that's been here before in the All-Star competition. Also from Buffalo, Gilbert Perreault. He's normally a center iceman. Tonight he'll play left wing.
From the Hartford Whalers, playing in his first All-Star game.
A member of the Hartford Whalers.
Number 14,
Mark Johnson. Of course, from Madison, Wisconsin, a member of that 1980 gold medal winning United States Olympic team. Another player playing in his first All-Star game tonight. From the Montreal Canadiens, the Swedish import, the first Swedish player the Montreal Canadiens have ever had, Matt Snaslund.
From the New York Islanders,
From the New York Islanders, defenseman and the Wales Conference team captain, Dennis Potvin. From the New York Rangers. Pierre LaRouche from the Rangers. Used to be with Pittsburgh, Montreal, Hartford. Now with the Rangers, Pierre LaRouche. Another Ranger. One of the best cornermen in the game of hockey, Don Maloney. From the Philadelphia Flyers, his first All-Star game, the big forward, Tim Kerr.
From the Philadelphia Flyers, playing in his third
Another Philadelphia Flyer, his third All-Star game, Brian Propp.
From the Pittsburgh Penguins.
From the Pittsburgh Penguins,
Number 20.
in his first All-Star game,
Forward.
Mike Bullard.
From the Quebec Nordiques, in his second All-Star game.
One of the talented members of the Quebec Nordiques.
Michel Goulet.
Number 15, Michel Goulet. What a year he's having.
Quebec Nordiques, his fourth All-Star game. Forward, Peter Stastny.
Another member of the Nordiques. From Czechoslovakia, Peter Stastny.
And from the Washington Capitals, playing in his fourth All-Star.
From the Washington Capitals, his fourth All-Star game, the Norris Trophy winner a year ago, as the best defenseman in the NHL, Rod Langway. Went to New Hampshire to be a linebacker in football, and he's come out as a great hockey player.
Jersey Devils.
Now from the New Jersey Devils,
Number 2.
young defenseman Joe Cirella, his first All-Star game.
And from the New Jersey Devils, playing in his third All-Star.
Another member of the New Jersey Devils, Chico Resch. He was the last-minute replacement for the injured Al Jensen of the Washington Capitals. And he gets a great ovation here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Now the training staff for the Wales Conference.
Trainer from the New Jersey Devils.
Keith Parker from the New Jersey Devils, one of the trainers.
And ladies and gentlemen,
And Craig Smith, the other trainer for the Wales Conference. And the coach, four-time Stanley Cup champion and defending Stanley Cup champion New York Islanders, one of the best in the business, Al Arbour. So there you have the Wales Conference team. You've met the Campbells, you've met the Wales. Let's again go to Al Trautwig.
Okay, Dan Kelly, even the trainers have tuxedos on. This format began in 1975. In Game 1, the Wales dominated 7-1. Sil Apps had 2. In 1976, the Wales won again 7-5. Dennis Vervegaard's 2 goals within 10 seconds, not enough. In 1977, Rick Martin was the difference in the third period. 4-2, a winner for the Wales again. The Wales won in 1978, the only overtime game ever played in NHL All-Star competition. In 1980, the Wales won again 6-3. Gordie Howe's 23rd and final All-Star appearance in front of the largest crowd ever at Joe Louis Arena. In 1981, Mike Liut was the star. The Campbells finally got one. They won 4-1. In 1982, Mike Bossy had 2 goals. He was the star, and it was a 4-2 Wales Conference winner. And last year, Wayne Gretzky's 4 goals provided the difference, 9-3. Overall, the Wales leads the series 6-2-0. There has never been a tie game. Out to the ice for the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Star-Spangled Banner will be sung by Andrea McCardle, star of Broadway. She is accompanied by cadets from the United States Military Academy.
Last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
The national anthems featuring Broadway stars Len Cariou and Andrea McArdle. And we're just about ready for this all-star game in the Byrne Meadowlands Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm Dan Kelly, Gary Green alongside, so is Al Trautwig, our regular USA crew. And it's our pleasure to be here and bring you the All-Star Classic. The two captains of the respective teams, Wayne Gretzky of the Campbell Conference and Dennis Potvin of the Wales Conference, meet at center ice for the official All-Star face-off. And the man to drop the puck, Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe. He only played in 23 of these All-Star games.
You can imagine how Dennis Potvin and Wayne Gretzky are feeling right now. Potvin having played tonight, this will be his 8th All-Star game. Gretzky, his 5th.
Gordie Howe in the official face-off for this All-Star game, the 36th NHL All-Star Classic.
And what kind of puck are they using? An official All-Star game puck, that's for sure. Certainly glad that no one slipped during the introductions, as you might remember Bobby Orr did in 1973. We're all set for the 36th NHL All-Star game. Nostalgia comes to mind, a lot of great thoughts. It should be a great evening. I'm Al Trautwig. I'll be your host for the 36th All-Star game on USA Sports, and we'll get to it right after these messages coast to coast on USA Sports.
Sometimes it's reassuring to know your car will perform well. That's why stunt driver Michelle Slate relies on Mobil detergent gasoline. After all, a car with a clean carburetor performs better. It's as simple as that. Mobil detergent gasoline for your everyday driving needs.
It takes guts to redesign one of the world's most popular cars. Introducing Toyota Corolla, Reborn. This sport liftback was reborn to please you with its balanced handling. Reborn to please your friends with its surprising performance. Reborn to please anyone with its low Toyota price. The 1984 Toyota Corolla Sport Liftback. Reborn to please the world.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
All-Stars.
We're back live at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey. And just moments away from the start of this All-Star game in the National Hockey League. Both teams still on the ice taking a final warm-up lap, so to say. And Wayne Gretzky is being interviewed by someone. I think this is interview 9,412 of this weekend.
It's amazing. Wayne Gretzky's father does not know how he does it, but yet Wayne says once that puck drops and the game starts, he can block everything else totally out of his mind. All he thinks about is hockey and winning the game.
Who's going to win this game, Gary Green?
Well, Dan Kelly, you like asking me tough questions all year long. I would have to go with the Campbell's Conference. Even though Wayne Gretzky may be hurting somewhat, I just think that they have got a slight offensive edge.
The Whales, as I mentioned earlier, have won 6 of the 8 meetings. But last year, the Campbell Conference, as we told you, won big. Last year's score was 9-3 at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. The officials tonight, the referee, Bruce Hood, earlier this year, refereed in game number 1,000 in the NHL. The 2 linesmen, John D'Amico and Ray Scampanello. Bruce Hood, by the way, is refereeing in his 3rd All-Star game. The starting goaltenders from the Chicago Blackhawks for the Campbell Conference, Murray Bannerman, there you see his statistics, including a 3.06 goals against average. Murray Bannerman from the Chicago Blackhawks. And for the Boston Bruins, starting for the Wales Conference, Pete Peters. He's played 33 games this year, has 18 wins, and has a 3.20 goals against average. Pete Peters, the former Philadelphia Flyer. And as you mentioned or saw earlier, the 2 coaches, Al Arbour of the New York Islanders and Glenn Sather. Arbour, by the way, coaching in his 4th All-Star game, Sather in his 1st. Referee Bruce Hood ready to drop the puck between Wayne Gretzky of the Campbell Conference and Peter Stastny of the Wales. The Wales in the white uniforms. And Paul Coffey for the Campbell Conference gives it to John Ogrodnik. Now to Gretzky. Got it to center ice. Broken up there. And Rick Middleton, number 16 for the Wales. Moving in. Checked in the play. Dennis Potvin for the Wales. Centers one. That's tipped away. And back comes Rick Vibe for the Campbell Conference with Gretzky. But back to poke it away was Ray Bourque. Here's Goulet giving it to Bourque. Shoots right on. Kick to the corner by Vanderman. Loose puck is there. Peter Stastny cleared it to Middleton. Now centered to Goulet. That shot blocked, and it's Paul Coffey, number 7, for the Campbell Conference. Dumping it in. Rick Vibe in on the boards to get it for the Campbell centers. Coffey deflected it, but it bounced away. Back comes Barry Peterson. Drop pass back to Kerr. Shoots off the goal post. Kerr just hit the post. Now Coffey to Gretzky. Campbell's come back. And Gretzky has the puck knocked away by Barry Peterson. And here's young Phil Housley. Lost it in front of the goal. Glenn Anderson. A shot, and Peters slid out to stop Glenn Anderson from a close-in try. He intercepted a pass and almost gave the Campbell Conference an early lead.
Well, 2 good opportunities. Kerr had a good one for the Wales. And then right after that, then the Campbell's Conference come roaring down. Anderson.
That's Kerr again hitting the post.
Had a chance right after that, Dan.
There's a shot from the point by the Campbell Conference. Brad Maxwell let it go, was blocked. Campbell Conference on the attack. Flipping it in was Dennis Savard, but the Wales come back, and Kerr feeds it over onto the far side. Now centered, knocked away by Kevin Lowe. Campbell Conference come back, wrote it to Savard. Dennis Savard, and Darcy Rhoda was in ahead of the play and offside. And then the Vancouver Canuck player, Darcy Rhoda, goes sliding into the goal post.
Well, we talked earlier about the young Phil Housley. We're taking a look at him right there. From St. Paul, Minnesota, came right out of high school and entered the National Hockey League.
In his second year, here's Rod Langway giving it to Housley, number 6. Housley flipping it ahead. Brian Propp deflects it in. Kevin Lowe back to get it now. Here's a centering pass. Comes to Langway at the point. Couldn't hold it in. And the play is whistled down on an offside. Rod Langway of the Washington Capitals, the Norris Trophy winner a year ago.
Surprisingly enough, Rod Langway was born in Taiwan. He attended the University of New Hampshire. He's played in 4 All-Star games, 2 now for Washington, and prior to that, 2 for Montreal.
No score. The Campbell Conference and the Wales. Here's a loose puck stolen by Naslund for the Wales. Trying to center one. Now Perreault tried to get it in front. Campbell's break it up, and here's Messier feeding one to center ice. Lanny McDonald shot right on. Rebound. Messier missed an open net. Messier got the rebound, made a deke, and then missed the open net. Number 5, Dennis Potvin for the Wales. Clearing one. And taken at center ice as the Wales attack. Play broken up as Mats Naslund carried in, and now circling is Steve Yzerman, number 19 for the Campbell Conference. Shooting it over onto the right wing side to McDonald, to David Babich. Shot at the center, but intercepting it and controlling is Mats Naslund. He drops it back, and then it's cleared by Joe Sorella to the Campbell blue line. Here's Yzerman, youngest player ever in the All-Star game, ahead to Lanny McDonald. He drops it back, and the shot by Messier off the stick of Potvin and over the glass and into the crowd.
Lanny McDonald, formerly Toronto's first-round draft choice, now playing for the Calgary Flames. He's the 1983 winner of the Bill Masterton Trophy for perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to the game of hockey.
The man with the famous mustache, Lanny McDonald. And perhaps the best wrist shot on the entire game of hockey. Here's Mike O'Connell for the Wales, getting it loose as the Wales come out of their own zone. Mark Johnson shot at the center. Campbell shoot it right back in. There's Peters out of the net. He clears it and cleared it right up over the glass and into the crowd.
I was wondering when Pete Peters was going to do that. He does it once a game anyway. There we take a look at the Minnesota North Stars. Brian Bellows, first overall draft pick.
19 years of age, and he's the captain of that Minnesota club at this point. There's a shot wide. Campbell's center it. Mike O'Connell knocked it away. And now the Whales try and move out. Don Maloney getting it to center ice. On the attack is Mark Johnson. He's checked, and it's cleared to center. O'Connell back to get it. Flipping it ahead. Here is Mark Johnson dropping one back, but right onto Charlie Simmer's stick, and he gives it to Brian Bellows, number 23. Bellows couldn't get around the Wales defenseman Ray Bourque. Now to O'Connell, head manning it at center ice. Here's LaRouche moving in. Gets it into the corner. Bellows is there for the Campbells. Now LaRouche centers to Maloney. Back to LaRouche. Shot. Tipped and shot just wide right through the goal crease by Mark Johnson. How that didn't go in, I don't know. Here's O'Connell, number 20 for the Wales. Flips it near the net. Grabbed there by Murray Bannerman, and he held on to it. And we get a stoppage in play, and for our local systems, we'll pause here. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is coming to you on USA.
National Hockey League coverage on USA Sports continues this Sunday night when we bring you an Adams Division clash between the Quebec Nordiques, a very exciting team, and the Buffalo Sabres, Scotty Bowman's troops. It comes your way 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the West Coast. Special edition NHL on USA Sports Sunday. The Quebec Nordiques and the Buffalo Sabres at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Well, how Mark Johnson didn't put this in? Well, it hit the post. That's how come.
Usually when it hits the post, it bounces straight out, but that followed right along the goal line.
Here's Phil Housley for the Wales. A shot. Now Goulet shoots a wrist shot wide. Number 22, Rick Bye for the Campbells to Messier. Housley hustles back to break it up. Now it is Kevin Lowe in the center ice area. Lowe gets it again. Ahead to Gretzky. Number 99, Gretzky passing, but Tim Kerr intercepted that. And Kerr circles for the Wales. Drops it to Housley. Head manning it up the middle. Peter Stosny got it to Kerr, broken up. Here comes Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky shoots. That went off Peters. He got a piece of it, and it went to the corner. Now Langway for the Wales. Flipping it up the middle. And on the attack is Housley. Bill Housley. Got it to the line, then it comes back up. Now Potvin to Peter Stosny. Back to Dennis Potvin, number 5 from the Islanders. Stepped around the defense. Now Kerr a shot. Lowe slid out to block that. And then it's cleared to center ice. This is Joe Cervella for the Wales. Long shot. Stick save by Bannerman. And taking over and controlling is Brad Maxwell. This pass to Kevin Lowe. Campbell Conference come to center ice. Here's Glenn Anderson of the Edmonton Oilers, shooting wide by a couple of feet. Now digging in on the boards. They center it back to the point. That shot by David Babich deflects wide. Now Rhoda trying to center one, and then as it comes near the goal, Peters just smothered it and held onto it, and we'll have a face-off in the Wales end of the rink.
Dan, we had mentioned earlier we weren't going to probably get a very rough game. We never have. Might be the ideal game. Wayne Gretzky will still show us a lot out there tonight, but he's got to be hurting somewhat. Mind you, he got a pretty fine shot from that left wing position.
Peters just appeared to get a face of it. Now, here's Barry Peterson of the Boston Bruins for the Wales to Rick Middleton, his teammate and line mate in Boston. Doug Wilson there to break it up for the Campbell Conference. Shooting it around on the boards. Dennis Savard drops it back to Wilson. Now fired to Glenn Anderson. He shot it to center. That will go the length of the ice. And Peters played the puck, so there's no icing. Now Sorella giving it in front of the net to Dennis Potvin. He fires it to Brian Propp. Propp to Sorella. Wales Conference on the attack. Ahead to Rick Middleton. David Babich is there to break it up. Now Peterson centered. Propp was open, but banned on it. And it is Rhoda for the Campbell Conference. Flipping it ahead to Savard. Broken up and cleared out of the zone. Carried back in offside by Darcy Rhoda. No score in this game. We're at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
In our world of endless imagination, anything can happen. And those of you who wear Levi's jeans...
He's out on left wing with Detroit teammate Steve Yzerman, and on the right side, Lanny McDonald of the Calgary Flames. Now the Whales controlling as Ray Bourque gives it to Mike O'Connell. Back to Bourque. Ahead at center ice, Gilbert Perreault, number 11. Dropping it back, comes to O'Connell. Passing it into Naslund. Slides it behind the net. Bannerman cleared to Lanny McDonald. And the Campbell Conference come to center. Yzerman headed momentarily, was checked. Now Mike Bullard, number 23. Trying to come in. Bullard with a good move. Never got the shot away, however. Now the loose puck is taken by Coffey. Paul Coffey up to center. Wales break it up. Back comes Naslund. Coffey recovered and was there to intercept. And here is Rob Ramage giving it to Coffey. Coffey into the center ice area. Here's Yzerman moving in. Peters with that goal stick. Poked it away from the rookie Steve Yzerman. Wales come back. It's Bourque. Over to Naslund. Coffey there to break it up. Naslund shoots anyway. Off a leg and wide, and Lanny McDonald tries to clear it. Now to John Ogrodnik, number 25. Campbell Conference on the attack. Ogrodnik misses by a couple of feet. Puck bounces all the way back into the Campbell, into the rink. Going back is Brad Maxwell of the Minnesota North Stars. Maxwell checked. Here's Maloney. Out in front, and LaRouche backhanded it wide. Now LaRouche to Langway, but cleared ahead by the Campbell Conference to center ice. Here's Don Maloney dropping it to Rod Langway. Langway. Now the Whales got to the line. Charlie Simmer breaks it up. Here's Simmer moving in. His shot blocked. Now drop back. LaRouche tried to clear it low, held it in. His shot stopped, and Maxwell has it for the Campbell Conference. Maxwell shooting it in, and the play is offside at the Wales blue line. No score in this game. 11.5 minutes left in the first period.
Dan, we had mentioned earlier about it was the last time there was any fighting majors in 53. You realize in the 35 games that have been played up to this point in time, there has never been a misconduct. I think that speaks very well for the All-Star game. Players are here to show off their skills, their talents. No one wants to get injured in an All-Star game.
From the face-off, Sorella for the Whales gets it to center. Broken up there. Now here's Tim Kerr. Shoots. Quick wrist shot wide by a couple of feet. Simmer knocked it back to the net. The puck is centered. And diving out was Bannerman as Michel Goulet flipped it in front of the net, and Bannerman had to be very alert to cover up.
Take a look behind the bench, the Wales Conference. You know, there's 14 players playing in tonight's hockey game that are playing their first ever All-Star game.
There's Murray Bannerman, the Chicago Blackhawk goaltender. This is his second All-Star appearance. Here's Sorella, one of the first-year men. Shoots, he scores! Joe Sorella of the New Jersey Devils, and the Wales Conference take the lead. Well, they'll love that here at the Byrne Meadowlands Arena.
Well, do they ever. Take a look at this face-off situation, and then the puck comes right back to Sorella. He pauses. He catches that inside corner. Not much room there. Perhaps that hesitation in the initial shot was enough to throw Bannerman off.
So Sorella gives the Whales a 1-0 lead. Now Gretzky getting it ahead as Rick Vaive gives it to David Babbage. That shot wide of the net, and it bounces back to the center ice area. Messier gives it to Doug Wilson. At center ice now cleared to Vaive. Rick Vaive with Gretzky. The Gretzky drop pass to Messier. Broken up, and Potvin comes back for the Wales Conference. Now they work it into Tim Kerr. Drop to Dennis Potvin. He scores! Potvin! And it's 2-0 for the Whales. Both of the goals coming from defensemen. First Joe Sorella, Now Dennis Potvin.
What a wrist shot Dennis Potvin has right from an ideal position. You see the drop pass from the top of the circle. Wow, did he pick that inside corner. Right inside the post. Takes a look. Just enough room over there between Bannerman and the post.
Tim Kerr made an excellent drop pass. Michel Goulet also gets an assist. It's 2-0 Wales. Here's Mike O'Connell moving it in onto the left side to Brian Propp. That shot off Bannerman's glove. And now the Campbell Conference control with Coffey feeding Glenn Anderson, number 8. Ahead for Darcy Rhoda. Rhoda poke checked on the play. Coffey holding it in at the point. But now Barry Peterson works it to center ice to Propp. Here is Peterson dropping it back, but Rob Ramage is there for the Campbell Conference to intercept and flip it down to the Wales end of the rink. This is Mike O'Connell. Cleared it on the boards. Now Bork has it for the Wales. Played it around on right wing to Middleton. Middleton couldn't get it out of the zone, but as he fell, dropped it to Bork. Raymond Bork, long shot. Saved by Bannerman as he kicked out his right leg. Here's Rob Ramage. Moving it ahead with a hand pass to Coffey, and that stops play. For our local systems, we'll pause here. The 36-0. Potvin Cirella scoring. 2 goals in 39 seconds. Now the Wales center it again, but it's tipped and comes to center, and this is Rod Langway, number 4. Langway to Housley, back to Langway. Langway has a look and flips it to center ice. Here's a chance for Naslund to Housley. Housley centering one. Now Bullard got it in front. Here's a drop pass back and a sliding save by Bannerman. He didn't know where it was. Lanny McDonald had to come to his rescue. And then Brad Maxwell shoots at the center. Campbell on the attack. Centering pass. Shot by Iserman that Peters had difficulty with, and the Wales come back. Perreault couldn't get through the defense. Bannerman clears it aside. Bullard over to get it. Here's Perreault in to help out. Perreault just holding it along the boards, and referee Bruce Hood whistles the play down. Bruce Hood, who earlier this year became the first NHL referee ever to referee 1,000 NHL games. By the way, those 2 goals in this game in 39 seconds. Cirella from Stosny at 8:51. Then Potvin from Kerr Goulet at 9:30. Potvin's goal is 5th in All-Star competition. And Cirella's his first in this is first game. Here is Bellows moving in, but Charlie Simmer was ahead of the play and offside at the Wales Conference blue line. We have the referee Bruce Hood microphone tonight. Let's see if we can listen in on what Bruce Hood has to say as he officiates. I guess he had nothing to say. Here's Bellows giving it to Simmer. Campbell Conference on the attack. Puck centered, gets in front. There's a jam at it off the goalpost by Bernie Nichols. That puck went in behind Peters, but hit the post. The NHL is coming to you coast to coast on USA. Campbell Conference on the attack, shoot it in. Potvin cleared it out, and then it was shot back in by the defenseman David Babbage, and that causes an offside at the Wales blue line. David Babbage of the Winnipeg Jets.
What a big, strong hockey player this guy is. 6'2", 205 pounds. He had 74 points last year, 3rd best of the NHL defenseman.
Face-off will be at the Wales blue line. 7 minutes, 22 seconds left in the first period. Joe Cirella and Dennis Potvin have scored. The Wales lead 2-0. Now, on the attack, the Wales Conference with Peter Stosny, but the play goes offside. This forward line is Peter Stosny of Quebec, his Nordique teammate Michel Goulet on one wing, and big Tim Kerr of Philadelphia on the other side. But there's the Campbell Conference's Mark Messier.
He set an NHL All-Star record last year, 3 assists in 1 period.
O'Connell giving it to Bork as the Wales fire it in. Jim Kerr is there to center. Messier intercepting that. Number 11, Mark Messier. Pass ahead to Rick Bye.
Get a stick on him, guys.
Bye into the corner. He's on a line with Messier and Gretzky. And then as the puck fell down, or the players fell down on top of the puck, you see Chico Resch of the New Jersey Devils. He'll play later in this game.
This is Chico's third All-Star game.
Here's Wayne Gretzky for the Campbell Conference trying to center one. Now Gretzky gets it in front, centered, and Coffey just missed tipping it in. Now Mike O'Connell for the Whales. Here is a lead pass for Michel Goulet, unable to center it. And Paul Coffey cleared it, not out. Rob Ramage gets it to Rick Bye. And center to Gretzky, in with Messier. Gretzky looks to Messier, but the pass was tipped and broken up. Now Tim Kerr right back for the Whales. 3-on-2 break. Kerr giving it to Stosny. Peter Stosny shooting one. Rob Ramage knocked that away. And the Campbell Conference come back with Messier. At center to Rick Bye. Across the line, Housley broke it up. Now it is Kerr, number 17. Tim Kerr dropping it. Peterson shot right on. Vanderman the save there. Here's a 2-on-1 Campbell break. Rhoda with Gretzky. Darcy Rhoda shooting, and Peters a save on the short side. Now Housley fires it off the boards down the ice. Brad Maxwell goes back for the Campbell Conference. Over to Kevin Lowe. Back to Maxwell. Now Glow, number 4, to Brad Maxwell. Shot into the center ice area to Savard, but Middleton checks him. Glenn Anderson gets it to Savard. Broken up by Housley. Barry Peterson shot at the center, and Kevin Lowe tried to clear it back in. Now Housley to Barry Peterson. Peterson stick handling beautifully to Middleton. He scores! Middleton! And it's 3-0 for the Whales. Middleton shot it. Housley was there. He may have deflected it, but I don't think so, and I think it will be Middleton's goal.
Well, once again, coming from the slot area. Watch it closely. You can see that pass coming back from Peterson, first of all.
I'm not sure if Housley deflected it or not, Gary.
He just may. He was right on the left wing corner. We'll have to wait for the official score.
3-0, the Wales Conference lead.
The Wales Conference goal scored by number 16, Rick Middleton.
Rick Middleton does get the goal. So Housley apparently didn't deflect it. Here's Dennis Savard centering one. Broken up by Langley, and now Housley fires it out on the wing, and here is Peterson on a line with Kropp and Middleton. Across the line, but Kevin Lowe intercepts. Lowe ahead to Rhoda, broken up by Sorella. Dennis Potvin shot at the center. This is Lowe for the Campbell Conference. Flipped it in, but right onto Dennis Potvin's stick. Potvin ahead on the left wing side now as the Whales on the attack, led by Gilbert Perreault. Drop pass back. Shot is up high by Potvin. Into the corner, Perreault gets it to his line mate, Bullard, but Bullard couldn't center it. Doug Wilson back for the Campbell Conference. Peters steered that long shot away. Campbell Conference with Yzerman. Got it behind the net, and Bullard then lost it. Here's young Yzerman getting it to John Agrodnik. Back to the point to Wilson, shooting right on. Big save by Pete Peters. And Sorella clears it to Naslund. Here's a 2-on-1 break, and the lead pass to Mike Bullard. Shot it high off the glass as Perreault sent him in. This is Potvin into Perreault. Center to Naslund. Wilson, the defenseman, and Vanderman, the goaltender. Both teams sliding up. Now Naslund centered, but Doug Wilson intercepts. Here's Lanny McDonald trying to clear it in. Back come the Whales. Max Naslund, number 25. He scored! Max Naslund. The Wales Conference exploding here in the first period.
That line of Perreault, Bullard, and Naslund, wow, have they ever been flying out there tonight? Naslund and Bullard especially working well together. Let's take another look at it from a high camera angle here.
4-0. There you see Matt Naslund to the Montreal Canadiens, who had just scored. Here the Wales. Pierre LaRouche on the attack was checked. Now Simmer coming back with a pass to or dropping it over to Bernie Nichols. That's broken up. Here is Pierre LaRouche for the Wales. Coffey checked him. Number 7, Paul Coffey. Clears it in front of the net. Drop back to Ramage. Ramage on the boards. Can't clear it. Loose puck in front. They score again! Pierre LaRouche. Well, you make a mistake in this kind of a game with all that talent, and it usually winds up in the net. The Campbell defense made a mistake there, and LaRouche tipped it in. Mark Johnson set him up.
You didn't hear me say that the Campbell's conference may have the slight edge tonight offensively.
I heard you say that.
Well, forget I said it, because watch this play here between Johnson and LaRouche. LaRouche right on the parked on the corner of the net. LaRouche playing on the right wing position tonight, usually a center iceman. Bangs it in.
Don Maloney also gets an assist. It's 5-0 for the Wales. Here's Wayne Gretzky. Stick handling beautifully. Number 99, the great one. Drop pass to Vibe. The shot blocked by Langway. Vibe again. Shoots. Rebound. Poked at by Messier, but Pete Peters was able to smother it. For our local systems, we'll
by the president of the National Hockey League, John Ziegler, to talk about some current news, and we'll also take you back and show you some of the famous faces that have played this game and helped make hockey a household name. Now here in the game, 5-0 for the Wales Conference. It certainly is good that we don't watch this game to see who wins. We just watch the game to see these players strut their stuff.
5-0, the Wales Conference leading. Cirella, Potvin, Middleton, Naslund, and LaRouche have all scored. And now we're going to get the game's first penalty by Bruce Hood. He has a microphone on. Let's listen. I don't know if he could hear him or not, but it's a hooking infraction, and it's against Phil Housley of the Wales Conference.
The Wales Conference penalty to number 6, Phil Housley. 2 minutes for hooking.
A hooking call against Housley.
Well, as we take a look at it, the Campbell's team will get an opportunity on the power play. Phil Housley gets a rest and a drink of water.
Those last 3 Wales goals, Middleton from Peterson and Housley at 14:49, Naslund from Maloney at 16:40, and then LaRouche from Johnson and Maloney at 17:14. Campbell Conference on the power play. Coffey holding it in. Gets it to Bellows, but that puck had come outside the blue line and was shot back in offside at the Wales Conference blue line. You look at Rick Vibe of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And the Campbell's Conference have the power play out there right now. You can expect that Rick Vibe, the power playing specialist for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
A 40-goal man for the Leafs this year. Here's a lead pass from O'Connell to Middleton that's off the mark. And Coffey is back to get it for the Campbell Conference. Headmanning it to Messier, number 11. Rick Middleton breaks it up. Messier gets it back. Flips it in. Peters behind the net. Clearing one himself, knocked down, and Peterson gives it to Middleton. Back to Barry Peterson. Peterson centers to Middleton through his skates. And Doug Wilson, number 24, for the Campbells. To Gretzky, who has a breakaway. Gretzky. Peters beats him with a leg save. Gretzky made not one but 2 great moves, and Peters stayed right with him.
It started way back in the Campbell's end zone. Beautiful pass by Doug Wilson.
Here's Gretzky again. Shoots one, save, rebound to Ogrodnik. Now Gretzky drops it back to Lowe. Kevin Lowe into the corner. Gretzky to Coffey. Shooting. Ogrodnik a poke at it, and Peters stopped them both. We're in the final minute of the first period. And that man right there, Wayne Gretzky, who says he's not very good on breakaways, was beaten by Pete Peters.
Well, it was an excellent move. I think Wayne If he knew now what he knew then, or vice versa, he would have put it up a little bit. But a big breakaway pass from Doug Wilson way back from the blue line. But watch, he goes to his backhand initially, then to his forehand. That shoulder may have been bothering him just a bit, Dan. He couldn't quite get that puck up and over Pete Peters' pad.
Campbell Conference still on a power play. 28 seconds left in Housley's penalty. Dennis Savard moving it to a Agrodnik, back to Savard. This shot went wide. Now hard-working John Agrodnik checked in the play. Held in by Lonnie McDonald over to Savard, drops it back, and Tim Kerr, out killing the penalty off, intercepted. Here's McDonald moving it in on right wing as Maxwell centered. There's Agrodnik. He missed an open net. John Agrodnik had Peters down and missed the open net. Brad Maxwell back for the Campbell Conference to Agrodnik. And Rod Langway intercepts that and cleared it to center. Brad Maxwell ahead to McDonald. Lanny McDonald has the puck as the first period comes to an end. Shots on goal were even in the first period. 13 shots apiece. But the scoreboard tells a different story. Coming up in our intermission, you'll meet NHL President John Ziegler with Al Trudwig in our USA studio. The shots on goal, 13 apiece in the opening period, and the score after one period of play. The Wales Conference 5, the Campbell Conference nothing. Our intermission coming right up.
With the Lester Patrick Trophy, he is one of two men who will be awarded this honor this year. It is for outstanding service to hockey in the United States in memory of a great man. It must have been a special award for you.
Very special for me. As I said last night, Al, I think I really accepted on behalf of the league, all the people that I worked with, and I felt very fortunate to have this position and be in there at the time when I think the whole league did some things and hopefully brought our game back to where we all wanted it.
Now, it was a special night as well, not only for you and Art Ross, who also received the Lester Patrick Award, but for the Boy Scouts of America, who were the recipient of $55,000 as a result of the proceeds from that dinner. How did the Boy Scouts become chosen?
It's a matter of working with the local club, in this case the New Jersey Devils, and their ownership, and looking to their charities that ownership has worked with and feels that can do the job to sell the tickets and get people out for the banquet. And both Mr. McMullen and Mr. Whitehead felt that the Boy Scouts work that they had worked with them before would be an excellent charity, and it certainly proved to be. We felt very privileged to be working with them. And the dinner was a great success and a lot of fun.
It was a great success and a lot of fun. Last night, $55,000 check was presented to the Boy Scouts from the National Hockey League, and I guess that makes all the players and all the NHL representatives honorary Eagle Scouts, at least for tonight.
Well, I think so. It's great to see our players participate. They stay and sign all the autographs, and even though they have to travel miles when they get in here, where the people are there waiting for them, they give their time, and really makes me feel good because I think we got the finest people playing our game that there isn't any professional sport.
They were very cooperative with us all year long, I know that. I wanted to talk to you about overtime. Half the season's done. Are you happy with it? Do you think it will continue?
Well, I've had a lot of fun with overtime, watching the games and also anticipating overtime in the games. Maybe they'll tie it up and we're going to go into overtime. And I just, we're looking at statistics today. I guess there were 90 overtime and 30 have been decided. And I haven't had one complaint from ownership or management about overtime, except that when their team lost, they say, well, I really don't like overtime. But that's the way it should be. And I certainly haven't had any complaints from the fans, and after all, that's why we put it in.
Well, we had a game Sunday night, 1 second left. Chicago loses a win, and they go into overtime. It was an exciting one. What else do you have planned for the National Hockey League the rest of this year?
Well, I think just a continuation of what we're doing. I think we have some interesting races. Mr. Gretzky probably will start a new streak if things go according to as normal. And I'm working towards those playoff positions and going into the playoffs. And I think it's going to be fascinating playoffs. And there's some teams that may be some sleepers out there.
One name in the history of all-star play, who do you remember?
Gordie Howe.
23 appearances for Gordie Howe. My thanks to the president of the National Hockey League, John Ziegler, for being with us. And as we mentioned Gordie Howe, we're going to take you back in time, show you some of the faces, some of the players, some of the special moments that have made the National Hockey League All-Star Game something special to hockey fans everywhere. is known as Boiling Springs, a tribute to a natural spring that ran through the center of town. When wealthy land baron and former U.S. Senator John Rutherford died in 1841, vast portions of his property were sold to a real estate company, calling themselves the Rutherford Park Association, shortened later to Rutherford Park. A name misspelling by a local delegation seeking a post office for the town led to the present-day spelling of Rutherford. Following a 5-year dispute, a local newspaper succeeded in adopting the misspelled Rutherford, dropped the park off the name, and ended all the controversy. Once the railroad came in, the Rutherford area became a weekend retreat for the affluent New Yorkers. It was a place to get away from the big city and enjoy the best of life. Sports enthusiasm was always common in Rutherford in the early years, and so it wasn't surprising when in 1971 the New Jersey Sports Authority decided to construct the Sports Complex. Situated in a marshland on the 19,000 square acre Meadowlands is Giant Stadium, home to 3 professional football teams and a soccer team. The Meadowlands Racetrack, home of the prestigious Hambletonian. And the Byrne Meadowlands Arena, the new kid on the swamp, which carries the name of the former governor of the state. It's home to professional hockey, basketball, concerts, horse shows, the circus, and many expositions. It's been 184 years since John Rutherford built his summer home in Union Township, later Boiling Springs, later Rutherford. One wonders if he could have envisioned this vast swampland one day becoming one of the most recognized and accomplished sports complexes in the nation. And so that gives you a little bit of an information and background as to where we are tonight, East Rutherford, New Jersey. We've had 5 different goal scorers. The Wales Conference mystical domination continues. They lead 5-0 after 1 period. We met John Ziegler earlier. He received the Lester Patrick Award, but someone else received it last night, posthumously, Art Ross. It was presented by a player who played for Art Ross when he was the coach in Boston, Milt Schmidt, a former All-Star coach. He's handing the Patrick Trophy to John Ross, Art Ross's son. Art Ross, by the way, was the man who prompted the All-Star Game's move from preseason to midseason. Second largest crowd ever to watch an NHL All-Star Game at the Meadowlands Arena. For the second period
at 17-14 to finish off the scoring. My pleasure now to introduce to you the man who said the Campbell Conference had more firepower on the ice tonight.
Thank you very much. Well, hopefully people just forget about that by now, Dan. I know you'll never forget about it, and you'll never let me live it down for the rest of my life.
Let's look at one of the goals. It's been a surprising turn of events, and here is the 4th goal by Mats Naslund, number 25, for the Whales.
This little Swedish player is not very big, but boy, does he ever have a lot of strength there. You can see his Coffey is really giving him a rough time, trying his best to knock Naslund off the puck, but it didn't work. The little guy from the Montreal Canadiens was able to show all of that strength, and enough strength to give the Whales their 4th goal. There we see it again. You can see the angle. Coffey was doing his best to try and take Naslund out of a good scoring position, but it didn't work.
Well, Pierre LaRouche has been quite a story for the New York Rangers all year. Signed as a free agent after being in Hartford. Added to this All-Star game when Brian Trottier was unable to play. And he combined with Mark Johnson for the 5th goal of the period for the Whales.
I thought that line was maybe one of the best lines out in the ice so far this evening. LaRouche playing a wing position tonight rather than center ice, but he really parked himself in the perfect position this time. Watch for LaRouche. Way over in the left-hand corner, Johnson feeds that puck over here on a backhand pass. You notice Bannerman really didn't give him much room, but LaRouche in good balance, good position, and just slapped that puck home quickly. I really think Mark Johnson has turned out to be an excellent playmaker. He's getting an opportunity to play with the Hartford Whalers, and play he's doing. There you see it. LaRouche on the corner, banging it home in behind Bannerman.
And here we go with the live action of the 2nd period. 5-0, the Whales leading. Campbell's on the attack, led by Paul Coffey. Flipping it in on the boards. Glenn Anderson unable to center it. Now Messier does. A shot by Coffey goes wide. Here's Gretzky in the corner. Tied up on the play. Now Messier out to Coffey. He's checked, and Mike O'Connell clears the zone and carries to center for the Whales. Number 20, O'Connell, just firing it in. Paul Coffey back to get it. Long pass to Gretzky. Another breakaway. And Peters stopped him again. 2 breakaways in this game for Gretzky, and Pete Peters has stopped them both times. How come Wayne Gretzky has such difficulty on breakaways, and he's admitted he's not a good man on a breakaway?
You've even given me lots of opportunity to think about that, Dan, and there's absolutely no reason whatsoever. He's not nervous. He's got lots of skill, more skill than any player in this league, and there he goes all alone. But watch how cool and calm Pete Peters is in that goal. Stands there, waits him out.
Matt Naslund for the Whales. He scored a goal in that first period. Drops it back to Gilbert Perreault, intercepting it. The Campbell Conference as they attack, but Perreault breaks that up and feeds Naslund. Matt Naslund unable to center it. Now Dennis Savard getting it loose on the boards. And Darcy Rhoda knocked down, but got it to Savard. He moves in, fakes the shot, now lets it go, and scores. Savard made one little fake, and that put Peters down, and then he was able to fire it up into the top corner. Dennis Savard of the Chicago Blackhawks, one of the most exciting players in the game.
Well, there's where it all happened, right at the top of the circle area. You had noticed that Savard, he used that fake shot, that caught Peters off guard. Peters was a little bit too far than that, but what a sharp angle. Savard was still able to find enough room. I thought he was too far deep. Pete Peters was hoping that he was too, but he put it up in the corner.
That cuts the Wales lead to 5-1. Now Mark Johnson ahead to Don Maloney. He breaks in, and Bannerman comes sliding out. Rebound, LaRouche had a poke at it, and Murray Bannerman stopped him too.
Campbell Conference goal, scored by number 18.
From Maine to Hawaii, you're watching the 36. Now it's Brad Maxwell for the Campbell. Puck is cleared and flipped into the center ice area for Brian Bellows. Bellows drops it to a Grodnick. Glove save by Pete Peters. Let's go here to Al Trautwig.
Well, Dan, Wayne Gretzky's had a lot of tributes in his time. This one from artist Andy Warhol, this colorful portrait, one of a series that was done by the famous artist. And if you want one, you can have one for 35,000 of these. It's a quite beautiful and colorful picture. Back to the action.
The only guy I know could afford one of those would be Gary Green. Here is a loose puck at the line, held in by Maxwell for the Campbell Conference. The shot blocked by Langway, and here's Mark Johnson, number 14 for the Whales. Johnson of the Hartford Whalers shoots one. Stick save there by Bannerman. Now Lowe tries to clear it. Don Maloney knocks it down. Yzerman gets it to Lowe. Lowe behind the net to Maxwell. Brad Maxwell to Brian Bellows to Steve Yzerman. Yzerman, the 19-year-old rookie. Or the 18-year-old rookie flipping it in. He wears jersey number 19. He's only 18 years of age. Youngest player ever in the All-Star game. Here's Michel Goulet. Checks at the blue line. And Lowe feeds Bellows. Pass ahead to Yzerman. Out of the net was Peters, and Mike O'Connell flips it ahead on left wing for Goulet. He missed it, and Rob Ramage, number 5, cleared it. Held in by Goulet. Bannerman out of the net to clear it himself to center ice. Now the puck sliding into the Wales end of the rink. Raymond Bourque back to pick it up. On the boards to Tim Kerr. That's Paul Coffey pinching in. Holding the puck in the Wales end of the rink. Now O'Connell to Bourque. Bourque firing it around in the boards. Intercepting it is Bernie Nichols to Lanny McDonald, whose shot went wide. Peter Stastny, number 27 for the Wales. Up the middle to Kerr. Ramage breaks that up. And the Campbell Conference come back. Here's Nichols. Got it to the line. That's as far as they could go. And back comes Tim Kerr, number 17 for the Wales. Leaves it for Michel Goulet to Peter Stastny. Back to the point. Cirella shot right on, and Bannerman the save there on the shot by Joe Cirella. Conference here in the NHL All-Star game. Rick Middleton with a drop pass that comes all the way back near the Wales line, and Potvin has it there. Shot it to center. Doug Wilson intercepting it to David Babich, number 44. Now Potvin intercepts again for the Whales. Mark Messier chasing back, number 11 for the Campbells. Now ahead on the wing. And breaking it up is Sorella for the Whales as he took it away from Anderson. Here's Glenn Anderson again. Barry Peterson checked him, and Sorella cleared it. Wilson held it in. Now the puck comes to Middleton. To prop back to Middleton, but back checking was Glenn Anderson. Anderson to Doug Wilson. Wilson now to Dave Babich, number 44. At center to Messier. Potvin broke that up. Couldn't clear it, however. Potvin gets another chance, and this time plays the boards to center ice. Number 24, Doug Wilson of the Chicago Blackhawks back for the Campbell Conference. To Dave Babich. Off the boards for Gretzky. Gretzky moving in with Anderson, and Gretzky's pass cleared by Middleton to center ice. Kevin Lowe for the Campbell Conference. To David Babich, now ahead for Glenn Anderson. Across the line, but in ahead of the play and offside was Darcy Rhoda. And let's, at this point, go to Al Trautwig.
And down here, there's a lot of activity not on the ice. It's the Associated Press darkroom where they're developing pictures of action that has already taken place. They're typing out the captions for the pictures, and they're getting ready to send them out across the country to all the newspapers for tomorrow morning's papers. Back to you.
That last scoring play for the Campbell Conference, their first goal of the game, Dennis Savard scored his first All-Star goal. Vive and Coffey assisted, 1:23 here in the second period. Here's Brad Maxwell shooting it in. Bill Housley back to get it. Played it on the boards, but that play had been whistled down for some reason, and I'm not sure why. From St. Paul, Minnesota, Phil Housley of the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, last year he led all rookie defensemen in the NHL. 19 goals, 47 assists for 66 points.
By the way, he'll be one of Al Trautwig's guests in our upcoming intermission. Here's Matt Naslund trying to clear it in. Broken up, and the Campbell Conference come back. Naslund intercepted and shoots it in. Kevin Lowe back to get it. Ahead on the left wing side. Held in by the Whales. Now to Langway at the point. Broken up, and here is Rick Vive. Ahead to Savard. Dennis Savard leaving it for Vive. They score! Darcy Rhoda, I believe, deflected it in. Vive let it go, but Darcy Rhoda, I think, tipped it.
Well, it was a good screen play. You watch Vive picking up that puck off balance when he goes to shoot it, but just to the left of your screen, Darcy Rhoda was moving right in front of the net. One more time, watch Vive. He is really covered here, but Darcy Rhoda wasn't.
And from our high view camera,
goal scored by number 17, Darcy Rhoda.
There you see the deflection, and it was Darcy Rhoda who gets credited with the goal. That cuts the Wales lead to 5-2. The Wales attack again. Moving in is Pierre LaRouche. Couldn't get his shot away. Now Mike O'Connell at the point. His shot blocked. And back comes Coffey with a pass to John Ogrodnik. Ray Bourque is there for the Wales. Bourque battling on the boards. Gets it to Don Maloney, who shot it to the Campbell blue line, and Steve Yzerman, number 19, has it there. Into the center ice area now to Ogrodnik. John Ogrodnik, quick wrist shot. Peters the save, big rebound, and Peters came away out of the net to cover up on it and hold it. There you see Darcy Rhoda, the scoring play. Rhoda, his first All-Star goal. Vive and Savard, the assists. 5:51 the time.
I think the Wales Conference must have heard what I said before the game, but the Campbells are on their way back. Will we say the Campbells are coming, Dan?
Here's a shot from the face-off that goes off a stick over the glass. And we'll have another face-off from the Wales into the rink. The professor, Al Arbor, the Islander coach.
14th year as a coach in the NHL.
Here's Ogrodnik from the face-off. He scores! John Ogrodnik. And now you see that scoring power of the Campbell Conference. John Ogrodnik of the Detroit Red Wings right from the faceoff, blasting it in.
Well, watch this face-off situation. There you see it, Stevie Yzerman winning that draw right back to Ogrodnik. That's one benefit of playing together in the All-Star game when you play all year together, as those two do with the Detroit Red Wings.
So that cuts the Wales lead to 5-3. Now Rob Ramage on the attack for the Campbell Conference. Number 5 tried to center. Joe Cirella broke it up, and Tim Kerr feeds to center to Michel Goulet, now to Peter Stastny. Coffey breaks it up. Now Goulet in the corner, centered. Big rebound to Potvin. Bannerman, a sliding, sprawling save. Back comes Coffey. Paul Coffey centers one to Ogrodnik. Chipped away by Goulet. Ogrodnik shot it behind the net, but Dennis Potvin intercepts. Lost it. Here's Rob Ramage, a backhander. Stopped at the defense. And the Wales clear up the center. First period belonged to the Wales. The Campbells have dominated here in the second. Play broken up at the blue line by Don Maloney, and Rob Ramage shot at the center. Back comes Peter Stastny. Drop pass back, a shot by Tim Kerr just off the target. Now here's Lanny McDonald to Don Maloney. Now centering one, chipped away into the corner. Lanny McDonald battling with Langway for a loose puck. Now trying to center it was Nichols. Housley and Langway try and freeze it on the boards. Lanny McDonald couldn't get it. And then Goulet flips it to center ice to Kerr, and the Wales shoot it in. 5-3, the Wales Conference leading. There's a hit along the boards by Langway as he got a piece of Lanny McDonald. Rod Langway over to Phil Housley. Back to Langway again. Now into the center ice area. Bernie Nichols was tied up by Brian Kropp, and now it's Doug Wilson to Babbitt. At center, Housley intercepting. Here's Phil Housley, number 6. Drops to Middleton. Bannerman, a stick save on Rick Middleton. Now Peterson centers one. Housley on the other wing. Doug Wilson pins Brian Kropp against the boards. Middleton centered it, but it was intercepted, and back comes Babbitt. Headmanning it for Messier. Back to Babbitt. Leaves it for Messier. He centers. Shot stopped by Peters as Lanny McDonald let it go. And then Kropp clears it out for the Wales. Here's Lowe passing to Messier. Leaves it for Gretzky. Back to Messier. Mark Messier to Gretzky in front of the net. Gretzky's shot blocked. Gretzky after it again. In front. Shot blocked as Glenn Anderson let it go, and Michael Connell blocked it. Here's Rick Middleton. Ahead to Brian Bellows. Bellows with a low shot off the target. Now Raymond Bourque shoots, and Bannerman a stick save. Brad Maxwell playing it off the boards for Messier. Michael Connell lost it, and now Gilbert Perreault for the Wales. Shoots at the center ice. Here's Max Naslund. Naslund with a low shot, and Bannerman a stick save there. Messier for the Campbell Conference. Mark Messier leaving it for Maxwell. Headmanning it now to Anderson to Gretzky. A shot. Skate save by Peters. That's Naslund. Clears to Michael Connell. Now to Dennis Potvin. Perfect pass at center for Naslund. Naslund can't get around the defense. Still has the puck to Potvin. Broken up and cleared to Gretzky at center. 2-on-1 break. Gretzky to Coffey right in. Pad save by Peters on Paul Coffey as Gretzky sent him in the clear. And now both teams will change goaltenders, and Peters just made a big save. He'll be replaced by Chico Resto of the New Jersey Devils.
Great game, Peter, boy. Great game, buddy.
Great ovation for Glenn Chico Rest, who will take over in goal for the Wales Conference. Grant Buer takes over for the Campbell Conference. Chico Resch for the Whales. For our locals for the Whales, losing it. Rick Vibe trying to center. Dennis Potvin tying him up. Shot on the boards. And then held there by Rob Ramage and Don Maloney, and we'll get another face-off as you look at the Rangers' Don Maloney.
Maloney's second All-Star appearance. He played in last year's All-Star game as well at Long Island. The Rangers' first-round draft pick back in '78.
Here's Rob Ramage, a high shot off a stick and over the glass and into the crowd.
This game is authorized under television rights granted by the National Hockey League. It is presented solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, and other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Hockey League is strictly prohibited.
Puck shot in by Coffey. Chico Resch handling that. Now Dennis Potvin. Forecheck by Savard. Had to clear it on left wing to Don Maloney. Ramage held it in, but Potvin blocked his shot and gives it to number 12, Maloney. Maloney for the Whales to Potvin. Potvin tied up, but cleared it to the line. Savard comes right back for the Campbell Conference ahead to Vaughn. Now Darcy Rhoda trying to break it up. Here's Maloney shooting at the center, and Paul Coffey has it for the Campbell. In across the line, trying to center one, did. Five banned on a shot, and Cirella cleared it on the wing, and here comes Maloney. Got it near the line. Savard back-checking, breaks it up. Then he lost it back to Don Maloney. And then Rob Ramage has it for the Campbell Conference. Ahead to Steve Yzerman. Yzerman in with Vibe, but poking it away was Phil Housley. Here's Yzerman. Two shots, both of them were blocked. And Rick Vibe centers one. And Dennis Potvin tries to clear it, does get it to Maloney, who played it off the board to the Campbell line. Here's Doug Wilson trying to clear it in. Housley knocks that away and feeds it to Michel Goulet, number 15. Doug Wilson cleared his centering pass away. Now Wilson tried to get it out. Housley held it into Tim Kerr. Shoots one. Blocked that to defense, and right back comes Bellows. Meanwhile, David Babbitt, who had blocked the shot, slow in getting up, and that's why play is called. Gary Green, this is Dan Kelly. We're at Laverne Meadowlands Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Wales Conference leading this game 5-3, and the Wales on the attack with Michel Goulet dropping it back, and Peter Stastny was checked, and here comes Yzerman for the Campbell Conference. But the play is offside at the Wales blue line. Now here is Al Trautwig again.
And I'm with late night entertainer Alan Thicke, who's our spy in the Campbell Conference locker room. In between periods, Alan, what happened?
Well, it's a home team for the Wales Conference, and they're playing a gentleman's game, but I think because the Wales are the home team, they jumped right out, and the Campbell guys were kind of caught flat-footed. They were mad about it in between periods, and they're taking it to them more in this second period.
Back to you, Dan.
There you see Brad Maxwell of the Minnesota North Stars, a member of the Campbell Conference Defensive Corps. He's paired up right now with Kevin Lowe of the Edmonton Oilers. It's Yzerman, Bellows, and Agrodnik up front. But the Wales control right now. Rod Langway. Pass at center ice for Peter Stastny. 2-on-1 break. Stastny centered it. And that puck was still loose, but referee Bruce Hood lost sight of it, so he had whistled the play down. For our local systems, we'll play 3 seconds left in the second period. The Wales Conference 5, Campbell Conference 3. Here's Brian Bellows for the Campbell Conference. To Yzerman at center, broken up by Michel Goulet. Now ahead on the wing, it's a drop pass to Stastny. Shooting, and he put it wide with a big slap shot. Langway had his shot blocked by Yzerman. Yzerman couldn't break away as Housley knocked it down. Now Paul Coffey moving in, and Langway got in front of the shot, and it went off Brad Langway and deflected over the glass. And Paul Coffey can be in top flight in about a half a stride, can't he?
Well, he certainly can, Dan, and that was an interesting one-on-one situation between two very fine defensemen, Paul Coffey and Rod Langway. Coffey being a great offensive defenseman and Langway being a fine defensive defenseman. Interesting 1-on-1.
Here's Ramage from the point, a shot that Chico Resch got a piece of, and Ray Bork carries back for the Whales. Ahead to Peterson, to Brian Propp. Back to Barry Peterson. Peterson trying to center, does to Rick Middleton. Middleton trying to flip it in front, now does. Knocked away by Coffey and then covered up on by Grant Fuhr. Fuhr and Coffey, both of the Edmonton Oilers, and with the Campbell Conference.
From Spruce Grove, Alberta, Grant Fuhr. Played in the 1982 All-Star game. He was the starting goaltender.
Face-off coming up in the Campbell end of the rink. Maxwell for the Campbells. Ahead now on the wing to Bernie Nichols. Nichols dumps it in. Charlie Simmer digging in after it. Centered, but Raymond Bork was there to clear it away for the Whales. This is Doug Wilson. Now to Maxwell. Long pass at center. Barry Peterson hustling back to beat Nichols to it. Now Simmer, number 10, to Lanny McDonald. Broken up and cleared to Middleton. Middleton gives it to O'Connell. Number 20, Mike O'Connell, shoots off the shoulder of Grant Fuhr. And then cleared, but not out. Loose puck in front of the net. Fuhr was caught out of position, and the Campbell defense had to clear it. Here's Charlie Simmer. Simmer on the boards, tied up. As Barry Peterson tied him up. Now Lanny McDonald at the other side couldn't center it. And number 26 is Brian Propp. Ahead to Peterson. Long flip shot handled by Fuhr. Here's Lowe with a pass to Gretzky. Number 99, Gretzky giving it to Glenn Anderson, but the Whales come back, led by Matt Naslund, shoots one. Bad save by Fuhr. Anderson then cleared it. Gretzky just missed getting a break. And Dennis Potvin for the Whales. Over to Sorella, back to Potvin. Potvin carries the puck in, but Matt Naslund had gone in ahead of the play offside. Conference 5, Campbell Conference 3. Puck in the neutral ice area. Sliding into the Whales zone now. Campbell's Gretzky gets it to Babich, into Anderson. Glove save by Resch. Rebound loose in front. Messier a shot. Resch got a piece of that. Now Wilson. That shot that Chico Resch got a piece of. And back comes Bellows. Now for Perreault. Gilbert Perreault shoots one. Fuhr the save as the Whales attack. Now going back is Langway. Langway tried to pass to Perreault, broken up. Now Housley tried to clear it. Here's Gretzky. Trying to center. Langway broke it up. Gretzky again. Centered, but Gilbert Perreault intercepting that. Now it's Rod Langway, number 4, for the Whales. To Mike Bullard, number 23. Bullard taken out of the play by Paul Coffey. And here comes Messier for the Campbells. Number 11, Messier. Now tied up by Langway. Messier gets it back to the point to Coffey. A drive and a stick save by Resch. And then he covered up on the rebound. Oh, they love Chico Resch here in New Jersey.
Good work. Well, you can hear Chico in the background. He's telling his team, way to work. Way to work, Chico. They're going to have a tough time, that is the Campbells team, of putting any pucks by him in the remainder of this game, because I think he is one pumped up goalie for tonight's game.
If you're going to mic any player, Chico Resch is a heck of a candidate. He's one of the most popular players that you'll come across in this league. Wouldn't you agree?
Couldn't agree more so, Dan. They have a fine broadcasting career.
Way to go, Michael. Good job, buddy.
You see Dennis Savard, Mr. Excitement in Chicago. Now a complete reversal here in the second period, Gary, by the Campbell Conference.
Campbells have really come on strong. Maybe entertainer Alan Thicke had something to it when he said he was playing the spy, and they were quite upset in between periods.
Here are the Whales with Ray Bork clearing the puck to center. Paul Coffey back to get it for the Campbells. Giving it to Rob Ramage, now to Savard. Back to Ramage, failed to clear it, but Rick Vaive is there. Now a man wide open, he scores! open in front of the net was Pierre LaRouche. And a big mistake by the Campbell Conference in their own end of the rink. And Mr. LaRouche makes it 6-3 for the Whales.
Well, also a very fine move here by LaRouche, but he was left totally unguarded. It's not easy for him right now playing on that wing, but he seems to adapt to it very well.
LaRouche has been a 50-goal scorer with 2 different teams in the league, Pittsburgh and Montreal. He's now with the Rangers and could get 50 this year. Now Dennis Savard to Paul Coffey. Coffey for the Campbells to Savard, now to Ramage. Ramage shooting it off the boards, broken up by Bourque. Cleared down the ice. Going back to get it is Coffey. And Coffey gives it to Savard, back to Paul Coffey. Now to Rick Vive, number 22. At center ice to Savard. Dennis Savard trying to go around Cirella. Puck still loose. Centered, but nobody is there, and Dennis Potvin feeds Michel Goulet, now to Stastny. Back to Goulet. Wales moving in, drop pass to Kerr, couldn't get a shot away, and the Campbells clear it to center ice. Bourque shoots it right back up, and then the puck winds up going up over the board. That last scoring play, LaRouche from Johnson and Maloney, 17:34 the time, gives the Whales a 6-3 lead.
Now, if we take a look at Dennis Savard and the bench with that face mask on, he's had his nose broken a number of times this year so far. He's had a rough one. Joe Cirella taking out Savard. Cirella, a big, strong defenseman with the New Jersey Devils.
Here's Maxwell to Kevin Lowe. Got it to center, and John Ogrodnik gives it to Maxwell.
This is the last.
Clearing near the line, Cirella knocked it away. We're in the final minute of the second period. Some wide open offense here, and a 6-3 lead for the Whales. Here's Yzerman. Shoots one high off the glass. Yzerman again, the rookie from Detroit, to Maxwell. In on the wing to Ogrodnik. Now behind the net to Brian Bellows. Yzerman unable to center it. And the Whales start back. Tim Kerr just flipping along backhander in. Kevin Lowe is there to get it. Lowe shot it off the boards. Now the Campbell Conference attack, and Bellows, number 23, drops one back. Centered for Ogrodnik, but the pass was behind him and shot out of there by Michel Goulet. Doug Wilson chases back to get it. Wilson giving it to Maxwell. 5 seconds left in the period. Maxwell's long shot. Resch a stick save, and that will end the second period. 4 goals scored in the period. 3 by the Campbell Conference, 1 by the Whales.
Guys, good job. Way to go, guys. Good go, Pierre. Nice goal. Michael, way to work, guys.
Shots on goal in that period, or in the game so far, favoring the Campbells 27-25. Coming up, 2 of the newer stars in the NHL, John Ogrodnik of Detroit, Phil Housley of Buffalo, the young man from St.
Ogrodnik and Phil Housley. For John Ogrodnik, his 3rd appearance in the All-Star Classic, and for Phil Housley of the Buffalo Sabres, his 1st. John, I'd like to start with you. You've been here twice before, yet I understand that you were very, very uptight before this game. What's the story?
I don't know what it is, though. You know, it's, you know, out of the 4 years I've been playing in the National Hockey League, I've never been uptight or nervous for a game, but I guarantee you that the 3 All-Star appearances that I've made, I've been nervous. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's starting off, skating out to center ice and facing the camera, you know. It's something about it.
Now, you scored your 2nd All-Star goal tonight. How big of a thrill is that for you?
Oh, it was, you know, it meant a lot to me. It was, you know, I was nervous, I was uptight, so, you know, when you get a goal like that, it just tends to relax you and gets you back to your normal game.
On to Phil Housley, and the Butterflies were what in your stomach, Phil?
Oh, I was really nervous before the game, and then made a couple bad plays, but after the first period, it went away, and then started to come back and play.
Now, Gilbert Perreault has been here a few times. Did he say anything to you before the game?
No, not really. He's just having a good time and trying to enjoy himself, just like me, and if I wanted to ask him something, I guess I could. It was the 7th All-Star appearance.
Now, Phil, you've been very versatile with the Buffalo Sabres. You've played defense, you've played up front. How is Al Arbour using you in this All-Star game?
Definitely at defense. That's where I was voted, and I enjoy playing defense, and I always will.
Now, John, we're going to get a chance to look at your goal. It came in the second period. Your team was hurting there for a while, partner.
Oh, I know it was. It was a little scary. They're down 5-0, I think, after the first period.
Do you remember what happened here?
Well, Steve Yzerman made a good play off the face-off here, and I think the whole key was that you can see Brian Bell was holding off, I think it was Pierre LaRouche. And, you know, I looked up, I took my time on it, and, you know, I'm not picking any corners. I'm just trying to get as hard as I can and right on the net.
Now, the obvious thing coming there is that Steve Yzerman was the one who won the face-off. He's a teammate of yours in Detroit. Is that anything that you've worked on or done before with Steve?
Definitely. You know, Steve's a right-handed centerman, and, you know, the past couple of years after they made that trade and traded Dale McCourt, I had left-handed centerman, so on a face-off like that, him being a right-handed, he's able to draw it on his backhand to me, which is the easiest position for him.
John, how do you approach the game mentally as far as how hard you're going to go in the game, as far as hitting and so forth?
I don't know. You know, I think it's, I don't really think about that. I think it's just because I'm so nervous before the game starts that I'm just afraid to make a bad mistake or trip on or fall on my face or something stupid like that. I'm not worried about, you know, how hard I'm going to play.
Phil, I wonder what went on in your locker room after the first period when you were up 5-0. It seemed like a boat ride then, real cruise.
Well, before the game, I tell you, I didn't know what to think. I was never here before, and I didn't know how to approach it. But after being coming in after the first period, being ahead 5-0, I was very comfortable. But knowing the Campbell Conference, how many good forwards they had, they came back with 3 quick goals.
As far as thrills go, your NHL career is not short, but I mean not long. But is this your best thrill so far?
Yes, definitely. When I found out, I was so excited. I really didn't expect to be here my second year, but when I sat down and thought about it, I really didn't know what did I do to be here. But I'm glad to be here, and I'm just going to try to represent my teammates back in Buffalo as best I can.
Quickly, tell me what you think about the way John Ogrodnik plays hockey.
Well, when he's coming screaming down on the winger, it's tough to stand up on him.
John, what do you think about the way Phil Housley plays hockey?
You got to play his body. He's very tricky on his feet. He can turn on a dime, and he can handle the puck very well. So you got to play his body. If you start playing the puck on him, he can turn the inside out pretty quick.
Thanks, guys. Really enjoyed watching you play tonight. John Ogrodnik and Phil Housley of the Wales and Campbell Conference All-Star teams at the Meadowlands Arena tonight. Back in 1978, the only overtime game ever played in NHL All-Star competition, Gilbert Perreault scored it, and guess where the game was? That's right, at the Aud in Buffalo, and that sent the place screaming. They're all part of the youth hockey movement in the United States. It's growing, and it is a very important week for them coming up in the United States. It is Youth Hockey Week. And along with me in the USA Sports studio today, 2 members of a very active family in the youth hockey movement. Bill Christian, a winner of the United States gold medal back at Squaw Valley in 1960, and Dave Christian, who followed his dad's efforts in 1980 with the U.S. Olympic team. That in itself must be a big thrill. But Bill, why are you here with me tonight? What is Youth Hockey Week?
Well, I'm here because the 4th through the 12th is Youth Hockey Week, and it's a week set aside by the Amateur Hockey Association of the United States that they're the governing body of the amateur hockey, and we're the spokesman for their week. We're the honorary co-chairman of Youth Hockey Week in the United States.
Now, Dave, we were just joking that your father got a handshake when he won the gold medal. You got a ring and all the glory. How did you get involved in the youth hockey movement?
Oh, I was asked by A House if I would represent them and be a spokesman for them, and I went through their program and was associated with them through minor hockey and also with the Olympic team. So, I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Bill, what happens during that week?
Well, I think it's just we try to honor people, volunteers, coaches, players, make people aware of the great things that amateur hockey can do for kids and well, everybody that's involved in youth hockey, coaches, parents, just to show the people the good things that can happen to boys that play hockey.
Dave, for all the young players across this country who are looking forward to that week and who look forward to just playing hockey any old time they can lace up the skates, what can they notice about a game like the one they're watching tonight? What can they spot? How can they emulate these stars?
Well, I think the biggest thing that they can see from this game is that the players are having fun at the game and they're enjoying it. They're working hard, but also it's a game that you have to enjoy to be able to play well, and that comes first. And if you enjoy the game, then you can work hard at it and you can play well at it.
Bill, what do you think about what your son's done with his hockey career?
Well, I think it's really great. I'm very happy for him. I didn't go quite as far as he did, but I enjoyed every minute of it, and I still enjoy hockey a great deal.
Dave, was there any choice for you to play hockey, or was it just all assumed when you were growing up that you were gonna play this game?
I was pretty much born with skates on. The part of the country I come from, northern Minnesota, there's not much else to do during the winter except play hockey.
Bill, what have you thought about the game so far? Boy, one period it was dominated by one team, and then the other team comes back with 3 straight.
Well, I like it. There's a lot of. I'm a forward, the offensive part of the game, and we're certainly seeing a lot of offense there tonight. It's wide open, and it's just fun to watch different players make their different moves and stuff. It's really enjoyable.
Have you been back to Squaw Valley since your big day there?
No, I haven't.
You're kidding.
No,
you got to go back and relive it. How about you? Have you been back to Lake Placid since you won?
No, I haven't. I don't think it would ever be the same if I went back there.
You two guys need some travel. Well, thanks very much to Bill Christian and to Dave Christian telling us about Youth Hockey Week in the United States. And we're going to wave the red, white, and blue just a little bit and take a look at all the American-born players who are currently playing in the National Hockey League. I think you'll be surprised because it's quite a list. This is amazing.
At 6:42, and then LaRouche got the Wales Conference back on the board with a goal late in the period at 17:34. Dan Kelly and Gary Green up in our USA broadcast booth. 2 different games, really. Wales dominate the first, Campbell's dominate most of the second.
I think when you get embarrassed as badly, Dan, as the Campbell Conference did in that first period, even though the shots on net were equal, when you get 5 goals scored on you, you don't get 1. You're bound to come out in that next period and play an awful lot better.
Let's look at one of the goals we saw in that second period, another Wales goal by Pierre LaRouche.
Well, there was a mistake made here, and that was allowing Pierre LaRouche in the first place to get in that position. You see he was all alone. That puck kind of bobbled off of Coffey. He was back and behind. Ramage trying to get back in time, but it was way too late. Pierre LaRouche making a fancy little move there in front of the net area, beating Fuhrer. And I'll tell you, he's looked pretty good on wing.
What do we look for in period 3? More of the same, wide open offense, I mean?
Well, I think if you ask me, Dan, and whatever I tell, it's going to be the opposite anyway, the way tonight's game going. But I think they're going to have a difficult time, the Campbell's Conference, that is, in putting anything by Chico Resch in this third period.
He's playing in his home rink, and the crowd have given him a great reception, Chico Resch, as he took over midway in that second period. The NHL on USA is brought to you by Honda, makers of the Accord LX 4-door sedan. Here we go to the third period. You'll remember a year ago, Wayne Gretzky exploded for 4 goals in the third period. So even though the Whales have a 6-3 lead, this one is far from over with the high-scoring offense that both of these teams have. Here we go with period 3, and immediately the Campbell Conference with Paul Coffey controlling it. Lead pass to Gretzky. Chased back by Ray Bourque. Bourque able to clear it away. Bourque, number 7, gets it to Stosny at center. He was checked, and Messier now drops it back into his own zone to Ramage. And as Ramage cleared it, the puck flipped up over the boards into the crowd.
Well, there's a special hello to everyone involved. The fans making up that sign. This is a jam-packed arena here tonight. People turning out to this beautiful building. And Dan, this has to be one of the most beautiful buildings in the NHL.
It just may be the best. Here is Coffey for the Campbell Conference. Paul Coffey, number 7. Trying to go wide on Bork. He did. A shot. Save on the short side, and then able to smother it. Chico Resch. He came out of the University of Minnesota Duluth. Played in the International Hockey League. After that, worked his way up through the minors. By the way, Bud Poyle, the commissioner of the Central Hockey League and the International League, is in attendance here tonight. Wants to say hello to all the member teams in those two leagues. Face-off. Coming to Ramage at the point. Shot right on, and Resch the save. Shot off the boards. Coffey held it in, and then Mike O'Connell flips it to the Campbell blue line. Rob Ramage back for it to Glenn Anderson at center, but he is checked by Goulet, and now Kerr, number 17, dumps it in. Paul Coffey back together. Coffey shoots it around onto the other wing, and Rob Ramage, number 5 for the Campbell Conference. At center to Messier, broken up. And now Stosny drops it back to Potvin, over to Joe Cirella. Shot to center. Wilson knocking it down to Glenn Anderson, number 8. Here's Anderson. Tried to center one, but he was too closely checked on the play by Potvin. Now Anderson again to Gretzky. To Anderson. One-handed shot. Blocked by Cirella. Brian Krupp breaks away to Rick Middleton. Middleton, number 16 for the Whales. Living at Forbury Peterson. And he's run into the boards. Doug Wilson now trying to clear it. Here's Cirella. Shoots one. Fewer came away out. Made a tough body save. And then it's cleared out of there. Icing will be called against the Campbell Conference on the play. Well, tough save for Grant Fewer.
Really was, Dan. I was afraid that he may have gotten that in the throat area. It was a high shot coming off the stick of Cirella. Watch this. Cirella really blasted as well. Lots of time. Big wind up, but I guess it was just up in the high chest area.
That's the play where the goaltender just comes out and makes that puck hit him. I don't think you need a little intestinal fortitude to do that with that puck going 100 miles an hour.
Imagine what a nightmare it is for the goaltenders during this All-Star game. You've got the best shooters in the league.
Thank you. Bruce Hood, the referee, and an up-close look at Al Arbor. Face-off in the Campbell zone. A 6-3 Wales lead. Face-off will be to the left of the Campbell goal. So we're having a delay here for some reason. I'm really not sure why.
Lay down up there.
I think someone may have had a light on down in the crowd somewhere, or a flash of some kind, and that's why they wait for that to get rectified. Now Maxwell, as the Campbells try and move it out. Gilbert Perreault held it in. Now Perreault dropping it back and giving it to Langway, over to Housley. Bill Housley to Perreault at center ice. Flips it ahead onto the wing, and there's the tough check, toughest of the night by Kevin Lowe, as he got a piece of Mike Bullard. Now the Campbells attack, and it's centered. Resch cleared it away, and Housley gives it to Perreault. Off the boards for Bullard, but Lowe back for the Campbell Conference. Now ahead to Rota. Now to Maxwell, moving in, but in ahead of the play and offside was Rick Vide. Coast to coast coverage.
The action, Dan.
Al Trudwick's having a good time tonight, isn't he?
He really is, Dan. He's all over this building.
6-3, the Wales Conference leading. Campbell Conference led by Paul Coffey on the attack. Mike O'Connell breaks it up, and Pierre LaRouche flips it to Raymond Bourque. Bork got it into the zone, and then it's flipped in behind the net. Coffey back to pick it up. Coffey unable to clear it. A centering try by LaRouche. And Ogrodnik intercepted and clears it to center. Yzerman in across the line, but the play is offside at the Wales Conference blue line. John Ogrodnik, whom you met in our intermission with Al Trutwig of the Detroit Redwood.
He's the first Detroit player since Gordie Howe back in 1970 to be voted to the starting berth for the midseason All-Star game.
You see the score, 6-3 Wales, 16:43 left in the third period. Here's Joe Cirella dumping it in. Dave Babbitt for the Campbells, back to try and clear it. Now Doug Wilson shooting it on the boards. Charlie Simmer couldn't get it out of there. Cirella at the point, fires it into the corner. Loose puck cleared away and taken by Simmer. At center ice with a lead pass to Lanny McDonald, dropping it back. Centered, but intercepting it was Goulet. Now Doug Wilson held it in. Potvin able to clear it again for the Wales. And Grant Fuhr played it on the board to Dave Babbitt. His pass up the middle to Bernie Nichols, number 12. Nichols to McDonald. That shot off the stick and up into the crowd.
Well, Charlie Simmer from the Los Angeles Kings. He's playing along on a line tonight with Nichols and Bellows. Nichols being a center iceman from the Los Angeles Kings as well.
Here's the new Campbell line over the boards. Gretzky with Messier and by. Barry Peterson on the faceoff. Now at the point. Shot by Maxwell off the glass. Cleared by Housley to Rick Middleton. Held in by Lowe for the Campbells. A shot just wide. Now Maxwell at the other point. Did a good job of holding it in. But then the Wales clear it. Lowe back after it, giving it to number 11, Messier. Mark Messier can really skate. Bumped by Rod Langway. Puck behind the net. Now Gretzky centered one off a skate and right to Rick Middleton. Now to Barry Peterson. Back to Middleton, number 16. Into Peterson. Backhander. Fuhr to his knees to make a glove save. Campbell's clear it. At center, picked up by Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky drops it to Lowe, poked into the corner.
You okay, go Barry?
Now it comes to Lowe again at the point. And Housley feeds to Barry Peterson, but Maxwell intercepts. Puck comes to the Wales blue line. Rod Langway shot it back up. Now cleared in by Brian Kropp. In after it is Mike Bullard of the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's for the Wales Conference. Over to Raymond Bourque, a shot. Great save by Fuhr. Now a big slap shot by Naslund, and he fanned on it. Campbell's come back. Darcy Rhoda to Gretzky. Gretzky couldn't get around Ray Bourque. And it's fired out of there by Perreault. Here's Paul Coffey. Gretzky, by the way, is injured as he goes to the Campbell bench. As he took that last check, he had a bad shoulder, we told you. Here's Vai breaking in. Puck rolled into the goal crease and was grabbed by Chico Resch. The Wales Conference will Resch with that shot.
We'll have to watch a little closer. But I think perhaps that Chico Resch was screened on the play. Take a look at Babbage. Well, I'm not so sure that he was now. Maybe just not ready. But Babbage, good shot, moving in quickly, receives that pass and picks the spot perfectly.
The Campbell Conference goal scored by number 44, Dave Babbitt.
Dave Babbitt's got that goal. It cuts the Wales lead to 7-4. Campbell Conference attack again. John Ogrodnik couldn't make the deflection at the side of the net. Now it's cleared behind the goal, and Langway and Yzerman battle for it. Rod Langway shoots it over onto the right wing side to Tim Kerr. Doug Wilson pinched in to hold it in, but now the Wales a 2-on-1. Goulet with Stosny. Back to Goulet, broken up at the defense by Dave Babbitt. And then Ogrodnik cleared it to center ice. This is Housley. Over to Langway. Now to Tim Kerr, head manning it to Peter Stosny, number 27. Stosny tied up by Maxwell. Stosny again. Tries to center. He'll get a penalty on that play. Bellows comes up with the puck. But now a holding penalty coming up against Brad Maxwell of the Campbell Conference.
Maxwell holding.
You heard Bruce Hood with the call.
Well, this time as well, Dan, we've talked about injured players that are not in the lineup tonight that were supposed to have been. Al Jensen from the Washington Capitals, Mike Bossy and Brian Trottier from the New York Islanders, Marcel Dion from the LA Kings, Yari Curry from the Oilers, and Tony Tonte from the Vancouver Canucks.
34 seconds left in the penalty to Maxwell of the Campbell Conference. The Whales leading 7-4 and on a power play right here. Cirella to Perreault. Ramage checks him. And Ramage cleared it but not out. Potvin to Naslund, back to Cirella. Got behind the net. Rob Ramage tries to clear it. Potvin, good play to hold it in. Now Gretzky has it for the Campbells. Gretzky maneuvering, giving it to Ramage. Go. Now to Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky kills the penalty off, drops it to Ramage, shoots one. Blocked in front of the net, and the Whales come back. Penalized player back on, so the Campbells are at full strength. Here's Ramage feeding it to Charlie Simmer. Simmer centers a shot, and then Gretzky scores. After Vibe had been stopped, it came right to Gretzky, and somehow from the far side of the net, he was able to poke it in. I don't think Vibe got the goal. I think it came to Gretzky. Let's watch and see.
Well, it took a crazy bounce there. Let's take a look at it. Good pass right across to Vibe. He let it go, but as Dan had indicated, I think it hit the post, the right post, and then bounced over. There was Wayne Gretzky. Well, I think it hit the pad of Chico Resch as well as the post. Gretzky right there, the right spot.
That's the 12th goal of this game. And that ties an NHL All-Star record that we set last year with 12 goals. And we still have over 8 minutes left in this one. 7-5, the Wales Conference lead has been cut. Here's Phil Housley for the Wales. Into Don Maloney. Now to LaRouche. This is the line that has done most of the damage for the Wales. Johnson, LaRouche, and Don Maloney. Now Dennis Savard, number 18. Tried to center. LaRouche is there to break it up. Number 28, Pierre LaRouche. Leaving it for Joe Cirella. Now back to LaRouche. Moves in, and blocking it in front of the net was Kevin Lowe. Now a break for Rick Vibe. Shoots one, and he blasted that wide of the net. Puck comes back to the Campbell line. Here's Dennis Savard. Up the middle for Vibe. Vibe breaks in. Shoots. He missed by about a foot. Now David Babbitt gets it into the corner. Kicked loose by Darcy Rhoda. Savard couldn't center it. And the Whales clear it. Doug Wilson made a good play to hold it in. Now Vibe. His shot blocked by Housley. Got it to center ice, and now Tim Kerr. Checked by Babbitt, and Bellows shot it to center ice. Wales with Mike O'Connell. Giving it to Kerr. Tim Kerr flipping it in. Grant Fuhr handles that, gives it to Babbitt. Now ahead on the wing for Bellows, who got it into the zone, but Ray Bourque there for the Whales to now intercepting it. Here's Bellows again out in front, and a Grodnick fan down it in front of that net. Behind the goal to Bellows. In front, Yzerman missed the pass. The Whales come back. Here's Kerr, number 17, and Babbitt's got a skate on it. Now a Grodnick leaving it for Steve Yzerman. Yzerman drops it, and Kerr was there defensively to intercept and feed a pass to Brian Propp. And a save by Fuhr as Propp was in alone. Big save there by Fuhr. Coffey tries to clear it and does to center. Got back in. Fuhr out of the net to clear one to center ice. Picked up by Yzerman, number 19. Yzerman couldn't get around Dennis Potvin. Now fired over onto the boards. Head heavy collision there. Loose puck near the net. We're going to get a penalty on that last play as Chico Resch is all tangled up with Yzerman. Yzerman coming up with the puck. The Whales are going to get a penalty. Now it's centered, and I believe it will be Chico Resch, the goaltender. All-Star game. Chico Resch gets a penalty on that last play. Here it is.
Well, watch right in front of the net area. Steve Yzerman tackled by Chico, and then they both had a difficult time getting up.
Well, the Wales lead has been cut to 7-5, and the Campbells on a power play right here. Only the third penalty of this game. Doug Wilson, who's a point man on this Campbell power play. Now here is Paul Coffey. Coffey gets it to Lanny McDonald, back to Coffey, and he dumps it in. Mike O'Connell back to try and clear it. Does poke it to center, and number 10, Charlie Simmer of the Los Angeles Kings, back for the Campbells, giving it to Coffey. They head it center to Simmer. Simmer tries to center, knocked away by Resch, cleared by Bork, but held in by Coffey.
Good play, good
and
play.
then he flipped it over the glass and into the crowd. We've had 12 goals in this game, equaling an all-star record last year and also in the 1976 game in Philadelphia. So another goal in this game, and we'd have our highest scoring all-star game ever.
Well, I think there's a lot to it, the fact that the players are so skilled, Dan. Exceptionally skilled when it comes to scoring offensively. We know the league has really run rapid the last few years. All very entertaining to the fans here in this building tonight. As we said earlier, a nightmare for goaltenders.
That last Campbell goal, by the way, Gretzky got it his 6th in all-star play. Vibe and Simmer, the assists at 11:23. Campbell's with a chance. They're still on the power play. A minute left in the penalty as Savard breaks through. And Rod Langway got behind the goaltender to stop it. Here's a centering pass, and Langway is there again. That's why he won the Norris Trophy as the best defenseman a year ago. Rod Langway. There's Savard. Now Charlie Simmer, or at least Mark Messier, number 11, moving it in.
That's it, Ricky.
Couldn't get around Rick Middleton. Messier gets it again, but Barry Peterson intercepted. Peterson and Middleton of the Boston Bruins are out as the penalty-killing forward for the Whales. Peterson centered one. Nobody there, and here is Messier. To Gretzky. Gretzky trying to go around Langway. Tied up, centered it to Savard. Dennis Savard to Gretzky. Backhander. Bad save by Chico Resch, and then Gretzky flattened in front of the net. Langway comes up with it. And Langway clears it out of there to relieve the pressure. Kropp, who was serving the penalty for Resch, back on the ice of the Whales, have killed it out. For our local systems, we'll pause right here. The 36th NHL All-Star Game is Wayne Gretzky refreshing himself at the Campbell bench. 7-5, the Wales Conference leading. Dumped in by Ray Bork of the Wales. Rob Ramage back to get it. He spun around, knocked off the puck. Wales try and center one. Savard now poking it. Trying to get it to Rota. Here's a chance for Michel Goulet, but Ramage poked it to Dennis Savard. Now to Coffey. Back to Savard, number 18. Savard tried to center one. Couldn't quite get it to Rick Vaughn, and Chico Resch just smothered the puck when it came near the goalkeeper.
Dennis Savard can really turn things on out there. A very flashy player. He's made a couple of fine rushes in this last few minutes. He's desperately trying to get this Campbell Conference with another goal. 7-5 right now. They're down by 2.
3 players in this game. Mark Johnson, Rick Vaive, and Don Maloney have 3 assists. That ties the record. Don Maloney has a goal plus his 3 assists for a 4-point game. That ties another all-star record. Here's a centering pass. Broken up, and Sorella tries to clear it. Now Sorella battling on the boards. Here's Yzerman for the Campbell Conference. Checked and knocked down, and then poked by Bork to center ice. Campbell's Doug Wilson flipping it ahead to Yzerman. Yzerman Tried to center one, broken up by Potvin. Now Doug Wilson couldn't get his shot away. Now a second try to Bellows. He scores! Brian Bellows, with 2:23 left, cuts the Wales lead to 7-6. 13 goals in this game, the most ever in an NHL All-Star game.
Well, what a play here by Doug Wilson. He was able to make that puck. He was able to find that room just to get it through. Bellows then picking it up. Just earlier, Steve Yzerman had done an excellent job as well. Campbell's really forechecking well, trying to get back. They're only down 1 goal.
7-6, the Wales lead has been cut to. We still have over 2 minutes left in regulation time, and if we're tied, we would play overtime and play overtime to a finish. Puck shot in by the Campbells. Lanny McDonald in to try and get it. Now get some help on the play. Puck comes back to McDonald, around on the boards to Nichols, but intercepted by Bullard. Bullard tries to clear it out and does to center ice. This is low for the Campbells. To Maxwell, shot to center. Bullard carries back in. He was too well checked. Now Bullard again, number 23. Centers one, a bouncing pass over the stick of Gilbert Perreault. Brad Maxwell firing it out of there to center ice. Langway going back to get it. 1:25 left in regulation play. 7-6, the Wales Conference leading. Paul Coffey lost it to Barry Peterson. Peterson puts it for Housley, but he was heading for the bench, and Rob Ramage gets it for the Campbell Conference. Long pass to Simmer at center ice. Now Ramage on the attack. Rob Ramage trying to center. Comes to Simmer at the blue line. Shoots wide of the net. We're in the final minute of regulation play. Paul Coffey at the point. Couldn't hold it in. Now Coffey loses it. Here's a chance for Kropp. Cleared away by Fuhr. Messier giving it to Coffey. Got it to center. Coffey still controlling it. Now to Gretzky. 40 seconds left. Gretzky into Glenn Anderson. Centered. Middleton intercepts. Now Fuhr to the bench. 6 attackers for the Campbell Conference. Shot in by Raymond. Shot right back out by the Wales. Hit the linesman. Barry Peterson got it. He was checked. And here's Messier with 20 seconds left. Messier trying to center one. Peterson knocked it away. Now Coffey got it in front, but it's shot away. Rob Ramage held it in. Barry Peterson couldn't get it out. 8 seconds left. And now it is cleared over the glass with 6 seconds still remaining in regulation time.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Chico Resch and Mark Messier having a few words.
What a last few minutes we've had of this hockey game, Dan. Who would have ever expected it? After the Campbell Conference were down 5-0 after the first period. It has been some third period.
This faceoff is going to be outside the blue line. And we have 6 seconds left. 6 attackers on the ice for the Campbell Conference. One last-ditch shot at it. And you see the time remaining. 13 goals in this game, an NHL All-Star record. Here we go with the Campbells lining 4 men up at the blue line. They get it to Anderson, a shot. Resch handled the shot easily. Cleared it to Goulet, and the game is over. And the Wales Conference hang on for a 7-6 victory over the Campbell Conference.
Good job, guys. Good, Peter. Way to go, Donnie.
An exciting finish we had. Good opportunity by the Campbell's Conference, even in the dying seconds.
Good job.
A heck of an All-Star game.
Hard, Ricky boy. Thanks, buddy. Way to go. Good job. Good work.
Campbell Conference in this game.
Thanks, Mike. Nice job.
Outshot the Wales Conference 38-30.
Yeah, nice game, Barry boy. Good job.
And now the game ends with the Wales Conference holding on for a 7-6 lead.
Top scoring All-Star game ever. We saw 12 goals last year, 13 this year. Wales Conference defeating the Campbell Conference by a score of 7-6. And who would have thought it when the Wales Conference led 5-0 after the first period. Here's the third period scoring, and you can see how quickly the Campbell Conference made it tight. For Don Maloney, his second All-Star goal from Johnson and Cirella at 7:24. Then Dave Babbage of the Winnipeg Jets at 8:11 brought the score back to 7-4. It was 7-5 when Wayne Gretzky scored his only goal of the game, his sixth All-Star goal, and that was at 11:23. And then at 17:37, setting the dramatic ending to this game, Brian Bellows of the Minnesota North Stars at 17:37, his first All-Star goal in his first All-Star appearance. Well, what Don Maloney did here tonight at the Meadowlands Arena was do something that only Ted Lindsay, Gordie Howe, Pete Mahovlich, and Wayne Gretzky had done. That's 4 points in a game. He did that tonight with a goal and 3 assists, and he has been named the MVP of the 36th All-Star Game. For his efforts, he will receive a $14,000 car. Lanny McDonald told me before the game that he thought he was going to win it, and he told Bob Johnson, the coach of the Calgary Flames, not to expect him in Calgary until Saturday because that's how long it took to drive the car there. But for Don Maloney, it's just simply a $2 toll across the George Washington Bridge to get it to Midtown Manhattan where the Rangers play. Upstairs we go to Dan Kelly and Gary Green, Dan having completed his 11th All-Star broadcasting exposure.
Thank you, Al Trudwick. Well, 13 goals in the game. What started off as a 5-0 Wales Conference lead after one period turned into an interesting game, and they had to hang on to win it 7-6.
It really was. It did turn out to be an interesting game, Dan, and I just thank the Campbell Conference immensely for not making me look totally stupid after that first period of play.
Meanwhile, Al Trudwick already explained Don Maloney with a goal and 3 assists, 4 points to tie a record in the MVP in this game. That line of Maloney, LaRouche, and Mark Johnson really was the difference in the game.
They really were for that Wales Conference team, Dan. I thought that line, which maybe coming into tonight's game, people might take a look at it and say, well, that's their fourth line. Well, if that's their fourth line, boy, they're darn lucky they had them because they really led their team out there tonight. Mark Johnson played exceptionally well. I just think he's a very fine playmaker, and after the 1980 Olympics, now he's really starting to turn those wheels. He's enjoying life in Hartford and playing well. LaRouche, he's a new man out there in the ice. He has been right from the start of the season. He's really, I guess, reliving things again and getting the opportunity. And what more can we say? But he's looking like a 50-goal scorer. That's the Pierre LaRouche of old.
LaRouche had a couple of goals in the game. Mark Johnson 3 assists, and the other member of the line, Don Maloney, a goal and 3 assists. Boy, the people really love goals, don't they? This place was exploding as those red lights were flashing on.
Well, they really do enjoy goals, Dan, and in All-Star games last year and this year, they're getting their share of goals. New York fans, they're used to some goals here. They saw a lot in Long Island last year and again this year, but you've got to remember, I think, to all those people out there that you're dealing with the most talented players, and I said it a dozen times, I'm sure, during the course of the game, but if I was a goalie coming into tonight's game and I looked down that roster and saw all these talented players who can shoot the puck probably faster than most of the players in the league and skillful as well as picking those spots, I think I'd have a tough time sleeping after I was selected for the All-Star team in the starting goaltender position.
Who were some other players on either team that you thought were outstanding in this game?
Well, I thought John Ogrodnik played a very strong game. He may have had butterflies before the game, as he told Al Trotwick, but I thought once he got that goal, he got off to a much better start and made some good plays out there. Stevie Yzerman being a center iceman, I thought they worked well together. I like the idea when coaches kind of put their players that are used to playing with each other from the same team back together. I think it makes for a much more interesting game, Dan, and I just saw that out there tonight. I thought Coffey, in his normal situation, I mean, he can rush with a puck like few defensemen can, and he really did that exceptionally well tonight. Dougie Wilson played a strong game as well, so you can go on and on and on. I could all night long because I just enjoy watching all this talent out in the ice. And I guess that's any coach's dream, to coach a team with so much talent as these two teams had tonight.
13 goals in the game, an all-time high for All-Star play. We enjoyed it. Hope you did. And I know a guy that had a lot of fun tonight was Al Trotwig. Let's go to him again.
Well, you're right, Dan Kelly. 1982 in Washington, D.C. Ronald Reagan was part of that team, but so was Mike Bossy. And then last year at the Nassau Coliseum, Wayne Gretzky. Well, it's time to engrave another name on this beautiful plaque as the MVP of the All-Star game, Don Maloney of the New York Rangers. Now, Don, last year Wayne Gretzky won a car for being the MVP, and he gave it to his brother. I think it's only right that you drive it across the Hudson River and give the car to Dave. What do you think?
I think that's only fair. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, this is just a dream come true. I mean, I don't know. I'm still hasn't hit. I mean, I knew Wayne was in a slump, and it's great. I'm really happy. You're
such a boring guy. You know that?
I couldn't believe it.
Do you know that what you did has only been done by 4 other players? Ted Lindsay, Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky had done it 4 points in a game. That's really in the record books for you now.
I got Pierre and Mark Johnson. I mean, he played unbelievable. I mean, he sent me out about 3 or 4 times. You got to thank those 2 guys. I mean, and Al Arbor for picking me. I mean, I really didn't feel like I belonged here. And this is like shows that a dream can come true every once in a while. I can't believe it. It's just great.
Now, when you started in the game, we had speculated that some of the last-minute additions, some of the players who were added by the coaches, would come in a little bit more charged up because they wanted to prove that they did belong. Did you feel that way?
Well, I tell you, last year I really didn't feel like I belonged. I was really nervous. And this year I felt better, and I just, it's beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, you joke around saying you like the car, but I mean, to think it'd ever come true, it's like winning the lottery. I mean, those things just don't happen, and I just, it's just great. I'm just really happy for it.
Who are you going to call to tell them that you won the car?
I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot more friends now. Let me tell you, but it's, I don't know. I'm going to call, I think, my mom and dad. I mean, that's probably the first thing. I mean, they'll probably want to come down and have a drive in it. I mean, it's great. I'm really happy.
Now, you got to come down pretty soon because the regular season is going to continue, and you guys got to hold on to first place if you want it.
Yeah, hopefully this year the Rangers, I hope. I mean, this is great, though. We're playing well, and this just adds on top, and it's just, I couldn't be in a better mood right now, that's for sure.
Well, it's a happy Don Maloney. I think you can see that. The MVP of the 36th All-Star game. We began the night with nostalgia, and who...
5 previous games, 18 wins, 5 losses, 1 tie, a 4.07 goals against average. And at the other end for the